Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly with you on this Wednesday, broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Corey, how's it going? How was your Thanksgiving?
Delightful.
Great.
How was yours?
It was great. We got a win on Thanksgiving night. And then settled in for some 11:45 p.m. Thanksgiving dinner after our 9 o'clock local time game.
Where were you?
St. Thomas.
Okay, just shut up. All right? I don't care what time you ate Thanksgiving. You were in St. Thomas.
It's true. The weather was a lot nicer. It's a little chilly up here in Nashville.
It stinks.
Could have used a few more days.
It stinks.
It was a fun weekend. Vandy got a couple of wins, and make sure tonight you're either heading over to Memorial Gym or tuning in as we've got a doubleheader. Women's basketball at 4, men's basketball at 8:30, 8:15, something like that.
Okay, you can't stay for that then. There's
right,
there's a
2-hour
layover.
Right, but you might, there's some places you could go for dinner or drinks or something.
Is that
and then come on
TV
back.
scheduled?
Yes.
Okay. Who do the women have it for?
They have UVA, Virginia.
Okay. Are they any good?
No, they're a bubble team.
Okay. And the women are up to like 14?
Yeah, 15. 15 in the AP, 14 in the coaches.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So, and then the men coming off the win at the Battle for Atlantis, they've got SMU tonight.
Yeah, and they're getting better because they just got Frankie back.
Right.
And he lit it up.
Duke Miles was the MVP of the Battle for Atlantis, set some records down there. So lots of good basketball over on West End tonight. Make sure you come on out, or you can tune in. I'll be on the air at 3:45 over on 94.9 The Fan. But for Vanderbilt football, last night was not such a great night.
Well, I mean, it was a terrible night, and then like 30 minutes later, it was a great.
It was
night.
great. Yeah. They, it evened out. You got the trade-off.
That doesn't quite even out, but it's still pretty good.
Right. You'd like to play for a national championship, but the Jared Curtis news at the very least does give you a chance to continue trying to play for a national championship for the next 3 to 4 years. You would think, as he is the number one quarterback in the country.
You think, you never know.
Right. These are high school kids.
Yes.
Like, you don't know how they're going to translate, but Jared Curtis.
I can tell you five-star story after 5-star story. So.
Chase from White Bluff on the text line. We just said it as the intro was playing. He says, you really got to change your intro with the 10 wins comment. Yeah, I know.
Well, Clark Lee said the same thing on Monday.
Right.
Look, you're a 10-win SEC team. And I think most people feel that way, that a 10-win SEC team. But we also talked about it before the show. This isn't a normal year.
Right. There are, I said it on Monday, there are 15 teams that I think are playoff worthy teams that have a resume that in a given year would have you in the playoff conversation. Sadly, only 10 of them are going to get in.
Well, and I think we have to embrace this as the new norm because of NIL and the transfer portal. I think it's, the great thing about the NFL is you have such parity.
Right.
And that's, what gives Titan fans hope is, watching teams turn it around quickly, whether it be New England this year or the Commanders last year. You see dramatic turnarounds in that league.
Yeah.
And with NIL and the transfer portal, it makes dramatic turnarounds in a more balanced playing field, more attainable in college football. We don't have a flat out number one overall dominant team. I mean, I guess you could say Indiana, Washington, Ohio State, and Indiana.
Ohio State, I think, would be the team that everybody's looking at as the national championship favorite.
Yeah, but they haven't played anybody to where you're like, oh man, they're just quashing everybody.
That's true.
I mean, they played Texas in week 1.
Yeah.
And they beat them 14-7. And then we found out Texas wasn't quite as good as we thought they were. And again, Ohio State is, I'm sure, a great team. I mean, they're loaded with 5 stars at every position, 3 deep. So I get that. But they're going to have to prove it in the postseason. And I'm sure they'll do well. They are, like I said, I was asked yesterday who was my favorite, and I say you'd have to say it's Ohio State.
Right.
But normally you would only say 2 or 3 teams have a chance to win it. And I think you would say more than that have a chance to win it this year.
Yeah, I would put Ohio State as the number one favorite heading into the playoff.
Yeah.
No matter what happens against Indiana on Saturday. But Indiana has a chance to prove that they're right in that conversation as well as the number 2 team in the country.
Yep.
And I would say Georgia, the way Georgia has played.
And they're Georgia.
Right. That's probably the top tier. But you're right that it wouldn't shock me if an Oregon made a run in the playoffs, or if Alabama who is going to get in now based on the rankings last night. If
Yeah.
they made a run, Notre Dame, if they get in, is going to be dangerous. So it's going to be an interesting playoff. Sadly, the rankings last night make it almost impossible for Vanderbilt to get in. So yes, it is a little bit ironic. My comment there of 10 wins is an SEC school you're in, and the team that gets left out is the one in town.
Well, look, you said it, and you're not wrong. All right, we said it all year. 10 wins gets you in, yes, as an SEC team, and it should. But it's not a normal year. It's just not. And so they're in this situation. I'm sure Utah's not happy about the situation.
Yeah,
I'm sure if Notre Dame gets bumped out, they're not going to be real happy. And everybody can always point to, well, you should have won this game, you should have won that game, and they're right. But this is always my problem, and I air this out probably every year. I have all the respect in the world for gymnasts and divers and figure skaters.
Yeah.
They're incredible athletes. Their sports are truly worthy. I am not judging their sports at all in the statement. I just don't like when sports are decided by someone's opinion. Okay?
I agree.
I do not like when it's opinion based. And college football, in the end, is opinion based.
It's subjective.
And that makes it problematic. Look, there are plenty of times in the NFL where you look at a team and go, oh man, if they hadn't gotten hurt, they could have been good enough to make the play, but they weren't good enough to make the playoffs. And so that was it.
Yeah.
And so it's boom, done, over.
Yeah. Look at the Bengals. And so it's like, oh, if Joe Burrow was healthy, they'd probably be a contender in the AFC North, but sorry, he wasn't.
And so I know we've had this idea floated of like 4 SEC teams, 4 Big Ten teams. And I don't know how you decide which team gets how many leagues, because it changes every year who's good and who's not.
Yeah. This year, the Big Ten does not have 4 teams that would get in, but the SEC probably has 6 to 7 that would get it.
But the ACC has like 1.
And they're not going to play in their conference championship.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. I mean, the 2 teams that are in their conference championship are not worthy of the playoffs.
No,
neither one of them.
You're going to get 2 teams in that are not worthy of playing in the playoffs, and you're going to leave 2 teams out that are.
And that's part of the process, though, of slating teams and doing what you need to do to get in.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would say, if we can find a merit-based system where teams win their way in, and you can say, well, you do win your way in, you win and you get enough votes. No, where it's not subjective.
Right.
Where you finished 3rd in your league, so you are the 3rd team in. You won your conference championship, so you are in. Whatever metrics they want to create, and it's harder because you've got so many teams. All right. And in the NFL, every division gets one winner, and then it's wild cards after that. So that's just it.
Yeah, because you can balance the schedules for the most part, and you can look and say, well, the Patriots have such an easy schedule, but
it would be tough to have 8 teams that are guaranteed or something, and then 8 wild cards when you've got 150 Division I teams.
Yeah, and it's. I was very anti the Big Ten model of the 4-4-2-2.
Yeah, but now you're getting on board, right?
But at the very least, that allows teams to play their way in, right? And
are you on board now?
I'm not saying I'm on board, because I still think that in a year like this, why should the 6th best Big Ten team get a chance to play their way in? That would be the model of the top 2 teams are in, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5 in a play-in game for the auto bids for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
The 5th and 6th best Big Ten teams don't deserve to be in. But this year, it would be great to have Vanderbilt get to play Ole Miss for a spot in the playoff.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's not how it works. But I can understand why that would be good. But I also, the Big Ten getting 4 auto bids feels like a lot.
This year it does. But what if Penn State were good, like they were supposed to be?
Yeah.
And then you'd have Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and Indiana, and you'd be like, yeah, of course they got 4 teams.
Yeah, and I guess USC
and Michigan
is going to be good. Michigan, yeah.
Michigan was just a step down. So, I mean, there's 5 possible teams. And USC, yeah, there's another one that can be that team.
Yeah.
And so I don't think, the Big Ten having 4 playoff-worthy teams is that laughable, especially as we get more and more pot committed on making the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what you're saying. I mean, like in Florida and LSU, they've basically said, look, you're going to the playoffs or you're out.
Yeah. No, that is the expectation.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin is going into LSU with the expectation that he is going to bring them back to being a national championship contender.
Well, and Summerall got the job at Florida, and they're like, he knows. They said he understands our expectations, and their expectations are not to compete in the SEC; it's to be in the playoffs. It's just that simple. And you're going to see more coaches fired more quickly because that's the expectation. And like I said, with NIL and the transfer portal, you can change things in a hurry, and that's going to be the expectation. And so having that many Big Ten teams be good. Shoot, having that many Big 12 teams be good might not be. I mean, you saw Texas Tech buy their way in to the field this year.
Yep.
They wanted to be in the field. They got the money.
And they did it.
They did it. Congratulations.
615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to text or call. Our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. College football playoff rankings came out last night, and Hunter Yurchek somehow said that a team that doesn't play this weekend can move into the field. I don't know how that is possible.
I thought he said that you can't pass somebody when you don't play.
I believe he said that a team that is out right now that doesn't play could get into the field. I would assume he's talking about Miami.
Yeah, it would have to be it.
But we're going to go through some of his comments from last night on the other side of the break. He had some comments on Vanderbilt, and the committee did exactly what I said they were going to do with Alabama and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
To make sure that they did not have to make tough decisions on Sunday after conference championships.
Look, do you think, and I know we have to go to a break, is there any way Alabama's left out of the field?
No.
So if they lose 30-10.
Okay. Yeah, if they get blown out by Georgia and it's not even a competitive game, then I think maybe the committee would put Notre Dame and Miami in, right?
Yeah.
But
well, that's what I said. Does it knock Alabama from the field?
They're doing their best to make sure that they don't have to leave Alabama out if they lose on Saturday.
Yeah, I just because look, I understand not wanting to punish teams for playing in the conference championships, but you're playing the conference championships. If you don't want to do that, don't have conference championship games.
And
all right,
if they were to be left out, it wouldn't be because they lost their conference championship. It would be because BYU won and took away one of the at-large bids that were left.
Well, and you lost 3 games,
right?
And you lost.
And one of them's to Florida State. And
yeah, exactly. It's like Texas. You lost to Florida. I'm sorry, they're not good.
Yeah,
you're out. And so Alabama, yeah, you have 2 tough losses, both to Georgia.
Yep.
But then you lost to Florida State badly, by the way.
Well,
badly.
Bama's other loss would have been to Oklahoma.
Oh, Oklahoma. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you lost at home
to Oklahoma. Yeah.
All right. You lost at home, and you lost badly to Florida State. That's right. They beat Georgia. That's what Kalen DeBoer does.
Right. So we will see what happens on Saturday. There are still spots that could move. If BYU wins, likely Notre Dame moves out of the field now. If BYU loses, do they care about the head-to-head result between Notre Dame and Miami? We can talk about that on the other side too.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you one more thing. And we get more deeply into this. Notre Dame has always relished its spot as an independent. If they get left out, does that drive them towards the Big Ten?
It's possible.
If the Big Ten's going to get 4 bids.
Yeah, it's very possible. Or do they? I don't know if they would do this. Do you fully commit to the ACC where you could just dominate that league year in and year out and get an auto bid every single year?
I guess that's possible too, but
it's the landscape of college football, I'm sure, is going to change in a lot of ways over the next couple of years.
There's more money for them in the Big Ten.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll get to your phones. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly with you on this Wednesday morning. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly with you on this Wednesday. College football playoff rankings came out last night, and Vanderbilt stays at 14. They do jump Utah, but Texas jumps in front of Vanderbilt. Commodores very, very, very unlikely to make the playoff. Almost impossible.
Utah dropped 3 or 4 spots.
They dropped 2.
Oh.
So Texas and Vanderbilt both jumped Utah.
Okay.
So, which Utah did not deserve to be above Vanderbilt for the last couple of weeks. I said yesterday I will lose it if Utah's above Vanderbilt. So, Vandy doesn't move, but at the very least, they're ahead of Utah.
Yeah, it's whatever.
We'll talk about the explanation from Hunter Yurachek last night. But first, let's go to our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Trey is on the line. Trey, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Trey.
Hey, I just want to say I think it's a sham job if Vanderbilt don't get into the playoffs. For one, how can they stay in the same spot and we've been winning? Number two, how is 12 guys that nobody knows about picking who's going to be in this playoff? Number three, who gives them the right to write the legend of an institution? Nobody knows who these people are. It's like getting a grand jury indictment and not even knowing what you've been charged with. It's terrible. I'm sure they got a computer program, an algorithm that they can put all them teams in and shoot out who needs to be.
Back to the BCS.
Yeah, but it could happen now.
The problem is when you do the computer, then you don't have the eye test.
Right.
And the eye test is something. And that's why I say we need to get to a merit-based system.
We should.
And with unbalanced schedules, it's almost impossible.
Yes.
It's not fair to these smaller schools that don't have any representation in the room while the people are doing these biddings. Like, what is that about? It's terrible.
Well, I wouldn't call Vanderbilt one of those smaller schools.
And what if Indiana goes in there and get dragged? Then what?
Well,
what are people going to say then?
They went 12-0.
Yeah,
I know, but they can lose though.
Well, they all could lose. Ohio State could lose.
Yeah,
Alabama could lose.
If Indiana's 12-0 and their one loss would be in the Big Ten championship, they're probably not even going to move down. They'd stay at number 2,
probably,
unless they get blown out.
I would. Hey, you know what? I would say I would put Diego Pavia against any of those teams. I would put Vanderbilt up against any of those teams.
Well, and that's our point is we think there's 15 playoff caliber teams this year. And unfortunately somebody's getting left out.
5 of those teams have to get left out.
Oh wow. Okay, guys. Y'all hear Hut? Tell Hut I seen him on Fox News the other morning. He did a great job, y'all. And I love y'all. Y'all take care, okay?
Thanks for the call, Trey.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. I agree with what Trey is saying, that I don't know if any of these playoff teams would want to see Vanderbilt right now. Like, the way Vandy's playing, Vanderbilt would be a threat in the playoff. But
nobody wants to see Diego Pavia on the other side of the field.
Right.
No.
Right. And they stay at 14. I think Vanderbilt, we were talking about during the break, if Vanderbilt had been ahead of Notre Dame after that second loss the whole time, if the committee had put them there in October or early November, they would still be there and they'd be in. But they set the precedent that Vanderbilt was not as good as Notre Dame, and because of that, they've stayed where they are.
Clark Lee had some interesting things to say on Monday, about being a 10-2 team. He also was adamant that the teams they beat were punished more because they lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah. And here, I can read Hunter Yurachek's statement from last night. So last night he was asked, Vanderbilt finishing 10-2 in the SEC. What is it that makes Vanderbilt be ranked so far below other 10-2 SEC teams and even below a 9-3 SEC team with Texas? Hunter Yurachek says the committee has a great deal of respect for Vanderbilt and what they've achieved. An amazing season, a 10-win season. But when you look at their schedule, now that Tennessee is no longer ranked, they just don't have a signature win. They've got wins against LSU, Missouri, and Tennessee. Missouri and Tennessee were previously ranked in our poll. They are no longer ranked in our poll.
Well, and LSU was ranked 10th when they played them, and their beating LSU led to their demise.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something to that. They starting a team's disappointment and cascade is part of what it is. I mean, look, I agree. They don't have a win over a playoff team. I cannot dispute that.
Agreed.
But they can only play the teams in front of them. Their losses are not bad losses. And I hate to tell you, if Arkansas had the same resume, Hunter Yurachek would be pounding the table
yes, he would.
that Arkansas should absolutely be in and that they have signature wins and blah, 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 blah. It's in the eye of the beholder. Look, I think there's one thing at play here that we don't talk about, and that's Vanderbilt was a taker for a long time. For a long time. They cashed a lot of checks and didn't contribute much, all right, except for guaranteed wins and a nice road trip to Nashville. And they're being punished a little bit for that. They just are.
Yeah, I don't think brand bias is the only reason they're being left out, but
it's part of it.
Certainly, you look at 3 10-2 teams: Notre Dame, Miami, Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
who's behind? I mean, it's Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
but the argument Yurachek is making is the correct one. If you're going to leave Vanderbilt out, the reason is they don't have the marquee win that these other teams do.
If he would just stop it at they don't have a win over a playoff team, everyone else does.
There you go. Stop. That is the right explanation for leaving Vanderbilt out.
There's no room for error there.
But to say because Tennessee fell out of the rankings, they don't have a signature win. Why did Tennessee fall out of the rankings? Because Vanderbilt went in and lit them up in the second half.
Here, I got another one for you. If Vanderbilt wins that game at Texas, Texas is no longer ranked, and that's not a signature win.
Right. If Tennessee beats Vanderbilt this past weekend, Tennessee is on the fringe of the playoffs. They're probably ranked 15th.
You know, we always have this thing where, like, you know, when Vanderbilt beat Alabama last year, they were number 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they beat the number 1 team in the country. And everybody says Vanderbilt beat the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
Nobody says, well, they didn't finish the year number 1.
They missed the playoffs.
So they didn't beat the number 1 team in the country. Everyone still says they beat the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah. And I understand you're not giving Vanderbilt credit for beating a top 15 team in South Carolina who finished 4-8. Obviously that turned out to not be as quality of a win. But LSU, look at LSU. They were the number 10 team in the country when Vanderbilt beat them. Yeah. They fired their coach, and things spiraled from there.
Weren't they like 5-1?
Yes, their only loss was to Ole Miss at that point.
Yeah, and so if LSU wins that game, they're 6-1. They've got a nice win at Vanderbilt.
Right, Brian Kelly sticking around.
And they're working towards the playoffs.
Right,
and so you winning games has an effect, and that's the other thing that Clark Lee said was that teams were punished extra for losing to Vanderbilt because of perception of it's Vanderbilt. And then he followed up, well, Vanderbilt's a damn good team. And he's right. And, you know, to hear the committee say that they respect them those are hollow words when you jump them.
Right. Over and over. Like Miami jumped Vanderbilt on their bye week.
Yeah.
It is hollow, but
you can leave them out with a reasonable explanation.
Right.
Like you said.
They continue to trip over their words and come up with.
Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? We're not going to punish Oregon for Penn State falling apart.
Right.
All right. So you're punishing Vanderbilt for LSU falling apart.
South Carolina.
And South Carolina. Missouri. And for Tennessee falling out of the polls because Vanderbilt beat them.
By 21.
Yeah, which no other playoff team did, and they played 3 other ones.
Yep.
So, I mean, and Clark, and Vanderbilt's done a good job of putting all the numbers out there that you could use to justify them and their performance. And I'm a broken record. Somebody's getting left out.
Right. There is a reasonable explanation to leave Vanderbilt out.
Reasonable explanations to leave anybody just about with 2 losses. There's an explanation to leave them out at this point.
Right. It's too crowded this year. We 3 weeks ago, we were saying somebody's going to lose.
Yeah.
Nobody lost.
Well, one did. Texas.
Texas lost. But we were saying, all right, Oklahoma's going to lose to Alabama.
We thought they would lose at Tennessee or Alabama. Certainly one of them.
Right. Maybe Notre Dame slips up at some point.
Yep.
Maybe Miami slips up again at some point. None of those teams lost. So it ends up being too crowded. Somebody has to get left out. And there is a reasonable explanation to leave Vanderbilt out. They are not using it.
Can you take the 3rd place team from a league where the 1st place team isn't playoff worthy?
Yeah, I mean that's it. Virginia and Duke are playing in the ACC championship game.
Neither one of them is playoff worthy.
Right.
All right, but you're going to take the team that finished below them.
There is
that's tough.
It's
That's tough. That's a tough explanation.
The committee has some tough decisions to make this weekend, and we'll continue talking about this on the other side. I mentioned this text to you during the break, Corey. 5745. How can you argue for one 10-2 team that got beat by Alabama and say Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff? That doesn't make any sense.
We never said
that. I said that the committee arbitrarily protected Alabama from a loss this weekend by moving them ahead of Notre Dame. They deserve to be in the playoff. Right? Like, all things being equal, if BYU loses to Texas Tech, no matter what happens in Atlanta this weekend, Alabama deserves to be in. But because the committee is worried about the backlash of leaving Alabama out because they lost their conference championship game, if BYU was to win, they protected them by moving them in front of Notre Dame so they don't have to leave them out if they lose this weekend.
Is Texas Tech in trouble if they lose?
That's the question. Is, do you put a 10-2 Notre Dame team in over an 11-2 Texas Tech team?
Yeah. Because it's not like Texas Tech is ripe with quality wins.
And their loss was to Arizona State.
Yeah. And then you'd have a loss to Arizona State and to BYU. They boat raced BYU the first time.
Right.
So I don't know.
And the committee is hoping
they're not going.
They're hoping that BYU loses this weekend so they don't have to make that
badly.
choice. But if BYU loses, then you have to make the Notre Dame Miami call.
Yeah.
And so we can continue discussing this. We'll get to your phones as well. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Tonight, Vanderbilt men's basketball takes on SMU at Memorial Gym. It is an 8:15 tip-off. Pre-game show starts at 7:45 on 102.5 The Game. And Vanderbilt women's basketball is on 94.9 The Fan. This afternoon, the Commodores take on Virginia at Memorial Gym. 4 o'clock tip-off. I'll be on the air with pregame at 3:45. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Let's go back to our phone lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Tim has been waiting patiently. Tim, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Would it have been better than if we'd have just beat all these ranked teams that we beat, South Carolina, Missouri, LSU, Tennessee, if we'd have just beat them by 1 point, then they'd have stayed ranked?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what Juracek is saying, is that because Tennessee lost by 21 this weekend, that is no longer a good win for Vanderbilt.
But he's also talking, and he said that Alabama, because they won a rival game on the road, they moved up.
Yeah, and they didn't play
won,
well.
And Auburn was driving at the end and could have won the game. We go on our rival and beat them by 21 and move back or don't move.
Right.
Bama got outgained by 200 yards in that game.
Yes. And if it wasn't for Cam Coleman not protecting the football, I think Auburn might have scored and gone for 2 to try and win that game.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. And the thing about it, like I said, if you took our resume and did a blind resume, and that's what I think they need to start doing. Don't show these people who they are.
Right.
Put them, and I'm serious.
Yeah.
You put ours against everybody in there, and we're ranked 5th or 6th.
I don't know about that, but I
do.
think they would be higher than they are now.
Yes.
We would be in the playoffs.
The issue Vanderbilt runs into is there's a lot of SEC teams that have 10 wins.
Yep.
And Oklahoma beat Alabama. Alabama beat you. So therefore, that's the way that they're going to be seeded.
You wait and see. If Alabama loses, they still make it.
Yep.
Right. And
so that's what we said.
They'll be 3. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, but my point is, you're going to look. We will be the only team in the SEC to ever have 10 wins and not make playoffs.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. No. It's very, very unfortunate, Tim, and it's not just horrible luck. I mean, I'll fight with Joe Rexroad on this. There is some brand bias. It may not be as much as some.
It is.
I mean, it may not be as much as some people think, but there is brand bias there. You know, if Diego Pavia played at Alabama, the Heisman vote wouldn't even need to take place.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I mean, so there is brand bias there, but it is also unfortunate that there are 15 playoff caliber teams. And if it wasn't Vanderbilt, if Notre Dame gets let out, there's going to be a lot of people really upset that Notre Dame is not in the field.
Right.
Okay. So
the one thing that I can say that is if we're not going to make the playoffs, but I'm going to tell you something that has impressed me is Daniel Demeyer, Candace Story-Lee, Clark Lee, every one of them has come out and put out why we should be there.
Yeah.
10 years ago, they wouldn't have given a shit if we'd even
Whoa.
made it. They wouldn't have cared. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I mean, you know what I mean.
It's a passionate subject, Tim.
We're going to see if we can get that figured out.
Look, he didn't mean that.
He did not mean that.
I mean, he's passionate about it, and I understand that. I'm not going to hang him out to dry for that. I've been there, believe me. But he's right with this topic that it's now an administration that fights for its players and for its team. Instead of selling them out to the highest bidder to go get beat on,
right?
They are now fighting for their team and standing up for their team and how good their team is. And that, I mean, they had a press conference Monday just to put out their case.
Yes, just to make a case for this team.
They never would have done that before.
Right.
I even got an email saying, thanks for coming. Okay. I mean,
you're right. They want people to go out and show this case to the world and see if it gained any traction. Clearly it didn't with the committee last night.
No. And it was pretty clear the committee wasn't going to listen to anything.
Right. The committee,
their minds are made up.
The only chance Vandy had to get in was if the committee sat down and legitimately went through all of the resumes again for those teams. And I think that they had already made their mind up and said, hey, this is how we've had them ranked. This is how they're going to stay ranked.
Yes.
And
I mean, look, 10-win Vandy team is not going to get in ahead of all these other teams.
Right.
They're just not.
And it's
because what they did at Knoxville didn't matter.
Right.
Didn't matter. It should have mattered. It didn't matter.
And it's funny because we said, hey, they might need some style points in these last 2 weeks against Kentucky and Tennessee because they didn't get them against Auburn. And that seemed to hold them back of, oh, well, they had to go to overtime with Auburn. They went and blew out Kentucky, blew out Tennessee, and they stayed at 14.
You know, it's funny because it's mattered for Diego Pavia.
Right. Diego Pavia is now the Heisman favorite.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the
place you're
service
looking
at.
right.
But it's a toss-up. I mean, it's basically a toss-up with 3 guys, and it wasn't before. And, I mean, I sent you the stat. 4 straight games over 400 yards.
Right.
No one's ever done that ever before. And I don't know how that doesn't play with the committee. That, how well are they playing? Well, look at what their quarterback's doing going into the playoffs,
right,
guys.
Well, they used Carson Beck's passing yardage as a reason to move Miami up a couple weeks ago. Look at Vanderbilt's passing yardage. I mean,
he stinks.
It's ridiculous, but they're so predictable, this committee. And again, because I said it yesterday, I said they're going to come up with a reason. It came to me in a dream that Alabama should be ahead of Notre Dame. Because, again, if Alabama loses, they don't, and BYU wins, they don't want it to appear as if they're punishing Alabama for losing their conference championship game. But if things do go chalk this weekend, let's say Georgia beats Alabama, they've now protected Alabama from that.
Yeah.
Let's say Texas Tech beats BYU. Notre Dame would be the last team in.
Yeah.
How do you leave Miami out?
Yeah,
I understand Miami lost to SMU and Louisville.
I can make a case just like we can with Vanderbilt. That's the problem again here with opinion.
Right.
And, when does a win happen? When does a loss happen? Where does it happen? Does that matter as much? How is a team playing? Does that matter as much? I mean, you can look at you could dissect it 900 different ways and decide on that day that this is the most important thing.
Yep.
Just like last weekend or yesterday, they decided all of a sudden what Alabama had done was now more important than what Notre Dame had done.
Yeah.
And there was no reason to flip them. They
did it because they didn't want to be chastised if they left Alabama out for losing their conference championship.
What I don't know, like last year, because we're talking about Vanderbilt and brand bias, and I know like Rexrow completely disagrees with that, and that's fine. There's room for opinions everywhere. I don't care. But they protected SMU last year. Why was SMU worth protecting? Because by the way, they weren't even very good in the playoffs, were they?
No, they got blown out by Penn State.
Okay. And
it's very disappointing. And for Vanderbilt, I understand the argument to leave them out. Like Vanderbilt got no help for the last month of the season. And
how about this? Just say it's really unfortunate for Vanderbilt.
They're a playoff worthy team.
They're a playoff worthy team. They just don't have the signature win. And all these other teams have a win over a playoff team.
There are too many playoff teams this year. Fine. That's a fine explanation for it.
Yes. All these other teams that we have ahead of them have a win over a playoff team.
Right.
And it's unfortunate for them that they only had 2 chances at that. Because you would have thought LSU would be a playoff caliber team, but they're not. And it's unfortunate for them, and that's the case. But that's just where we are. We would love to have Vanderbilt in the field.
Right.
But there's not room.
They're getting ready to set some very dangerous precedents too. And I know Texas is making a big deal of we're never going to schedule a tough game again if you leave us out.
Well, then fine. How about this? Win a tough game.
Don't lose to Florida, but that's going to be something that teams are going to use. Well, Texas lost to Ohio State and they got left out, so we're not going to schedule that game. The other dangerous precedent is if Notre Dame is the last team in the field and you leave Miami out, you are setting the precedent that the games played on the field do not matter.
I understand why you're saying that. It was the first game of the year.
I
understand.
Was
in Miami, and it was like the last play of the game.
And if you lined up Notre Dame and Miami on a neutral field, I think Notre Dame is favored.
Okay, I was going to say who's favored.
I think Notre Dame is favored
by 6 points.
But I think they're going to leave Miami out, and Miami will let everyone know for years.
That's fine. I think that's oversimplifying because again, yes, head-to-head matters, but Notre Dame's 2 losses are to Miami and Texas A&M on like the last play of the game.
Right. They missed an extra point against Texas A&M that cost them that game.
And Miami's losses are to Louisville and SMU.
Louisville and SMU.
Louisville and SMU, who are not even in consideration for the playoffs.
Right. So it's the decisions that the committee makes on Sunday are going to have wide-reaching effects on college football.
They won't.
And
they won't because people look. They're going to do whatever they want to do every year.
Yeah, I guess
you could say, well, we're not going to play anybody. Well, like you said, don't lose to Florida. That the Ohio State game didn't get you knocked out. The Florida,
Florida
game
didn't.
got you
Yeah.
knocked out. All right. So don't lose that game. And, just like the committee put Texas ahead of Vanderbilt at 9-3, they're going to do what they want to do.
Right.
And so you can schedule whoever you want to schedule. It doesn't matter. They're going to make it convenient for whatever they want it to be.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will get to your phones on the other side. We'll also have a conversation about Diego Pavia's Heisman campaign. We'll do that next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 1025, the game, Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. We will talk some Titans coming up in the second hour of the show. Andrew Allegretta from Vanderbilt football going to join us at 11 o'clock. But let's go back to our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Kenny the mailman is on the line. Kenny, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Hello, fellas. Oh, man, I almost want to hang up and call back when Andrew Allegretta is on. Did you listen to the radio broadcast of the game Saturday?
I did, and I heard what you called into Chasing Big Joe and said yesterday about the only colors left in this stadium are black, gold, and aluminum.
Well, he said that with 1 minute to go, and I'm telling you, there's an entrepreneur somewhere in this city that's going to make you a lot of money if you can get permission to put that on a shirt, because I want that on a shirt.
Right.
Ask Andrew, did he plan that ahead of time? Did it just spur of the moment? If you would, when you interview him, go through how he came to say
Sounds
that.
good. I will have to ask him.
Great. Well, now, why I called you now, there are a lot of people upset about the show last night. Would you agree with that?
Yes, very much so.
The way I looked at it, it was just a Monty Python skit. I love Monty Python because the poor people, they would say things, and 2 minutes later, they would say the same exact opposite, and they had trouble not smiling, if you notice.
Well, that's why I said they're gonna do whatever they want to do.
Right.
Right. You remember my little archery scene? Just shoot an arrow into a blank target, run down there and draw a circle around it and yell, bullseye! I mean, they're going to do what they want. Now, but here's what I think's bittersweet and I don't like. The top four playoff games, they've given them the bowl names. Y'all do know that.
Yes.
All right. Orange, Rose, Sugar, Cotton. Those are not bowl games anymore. There's no pie eating contests. There's no going to Disney for a day. Those are serious games. Leave the bowl names for the teams that don't get to go to the playoffs, where it's still a matter of pride. Man, if Vandy could say they went to the Cotton Bowl, I would be so happy.
Well, Kenny, the problem with
they're
that,
they're going to be stuck in a little no-name bowl. They're going to be like picked third when we thought they would be higher.
those
And it
bowls
was
don't
just
want to
so good.
lose the quality
big-
of their game.
yeah.
They don't want to lose the
Right,
TV
but-
ratings.
But they're not a bowl game anymore. I
No, it's a
understand
playoff
what you're
game.
saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
you're
listen,
right.
Y'all have a great day, and I will be listening at 11 o'clock for that explanation of what you said. That was gold.
Thank you
Oh,
for the
my
call,
bad.
Kenny. Always good stuff from Kenny the mailman. Let's go back to our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Bobby from Hermitage has called in. Bobby, thanks for calling. What you got?
Oh, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I mean, I do believe that Vanderbilt deserves to be in the 12-team playoff. But you know what? I've been following Vanderbilt football for 50 years, and I never thought I would experience a team that could win 10 games. I mean, there's been years where it took them 5 years to win 10 games. We have a fantastic coach. People need to realize that, you know, life's not fair. I mean, there's going to be so many things in life that doesn't always work out exactly the way that you want them to work out. We just signed a fantastic coach to an extension. We got to experience Diego Pavia. We're going to get to see him in New York. I never thought I would see that in my lifetime. And we just signed the #1 quarterback prospect in the country. And as a Vanderbilt fan, I'm not complaining a bit. And yes, I'm upset, but I'm not upset because I'm experiencing things that I've never experienced in my entire life. And I'm just happy to be where we are. And I think the future's bright. So I think we've got to get a little more positive as Vanderbilt fans. I mean, things are not going to work out perfect, but we have to count our blessings when we're talking about a Vanderbilt fan, because it has been absolutely miserable following this team. And look where we are right now.
We all
And I am
thought
so
5 months
thankful.
ago it was laughable when they talked about playing for the national championship, right? So we went from laughable to reality. They were in the conversation to play for the national championship. Very well could have been a part of that party. So I think you're absolutely right in addressing where this program has gone. They've made the investment to be. I always say winning doesn't happen by accident. They've made the investment to be better, and it has paid off. And by the way, we'll talk about this more later. It has crossed that Jared Curtis has officially signed with the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yes, Jared Curtis officially on
Absolutely.
board. Thank you for the call,
Absolutely.
Bobby.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I agree. And we asked the question yesterday of Vanderbilt fans, how do you feel about this season right now? Where likely going to be disappointed, not going to get into the playoff, but first 10-win season, Heisman candidate quarterback.
Yep.
And now you have the infrastructure to continue to build in the future. Clark Lee just signed a 6-year extension, and you signed the number 1 quarterback recruit in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm sure it's frustrating for Vanderbilt fans, and we're talking about them getting left out. You got to look back on this season and say, hey, 8 out of 10 years, our resume probably gets us into that playoff. This year, it didn't, but it's a huge step forward for this program.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fact that they know they can play with anybody in the country, I mean, it's a huge step forward.
Right.
They're not a doormat anymore. They sold out like every game this year at First Bank, and not because of the opponent. They sold it out themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many metrics that you look at and say, wow, this is not the same old story. Now, I saw a tweet yesterday, and I'm sorry, I don't know who you were, but they said, well, I look forward to a bowl game when Pavia sits out for the NFL draft and we get to see the real Vanderbilt.
Yeah, if you don't know if you know Diego Pavia, you know he's not sitting out a bowl game.
Well, I don't care. If Diego Pavia doesn't play in that game and Vanderbilt loses, that doesn't indicate, well, that's the real Vanderbilt. That's just dumb. All right? He's a part of the football team. So he is part of the real Vanderbilt.
Right.
Now, next year, he won't be. And guess what? There'll be a lot of turnover. Just like for everybody, there'll be a lot of turnover. And we'll see if they can reload the deck just like they did this year. We'll see if Josh Heupel can reload it in Knoxville. We'll see if Kalen DeBoer can reload it at Tuscaloosa.
That's what college football is these days.
Because recruiting, both NIL and high school, okay, you've got 2 levels of recruiting now.
Right.
And putting a team, and also you have so many more new pieces, putting it all together. There's a lot more challenges. And, it's going to be a lot more year-to-year situation than it used to be.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will talk Titans in the second hour, but with the news coming down about Jared Curtis officially signing, I feel like we should talk about that on the other side. So
Not
we'll talk
related,
about
by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, any relation, Jared and Corey Curtis?
Maybe there is somewhere along the line, but none that I'm aware of. I do know this. Infinitely more physically talented than I am. So I don't think we share any of the same DNA other than human being.
Jared Curtis and Corey Curtis on the show today. Jared's not coming on, but we'll talk about Jared.
I didn't marry Jared Stillman.
We will talk about Jared Curtis becoming the highest rated recruit in Vanderbilt history, and maybe touch on Diego Pavia and the Heisman, because we didn't get that much in this first hour. We'll do that next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Second hour, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We will talk Titans this hour. Andrew Allegretta going to join us at 11 o'clock to talk Vanderbilt football, Diego Pavia's Heisman case, and much more. But the big news this morning, Jared Curtis, the number one quarterback in the country as rated by On3 and Rivals, and Nashville Christian's own, going to play for a state championship tomorrow. He has officially signed with the Vanderbilt Commodores, highest rated recruit in program history, and very possibly the successor to Diego Pavia if he starts as a true freshman.
Yeah, that's tough to do. I mean, it's tough to come in and play quarterback at the SEC level or any of these high Division I levels as a true freshman. I'm not saying he can't do it, and I'm not saying it hasn't been done before. I'm just saying that's a tough job.
It is.
It's a massive leap from Nashville Christian, which is a smaller level private school.
Yeah.
And again, not saying he can't do it. I'm saying it's a massive leap. And I don't know if he is an early enrollee or not.
That is a big question, because it would be tough to roll into fall camp and be the starting quarterback in week one.
If they have eyes on him being their starting quarterback, I would think he would almost certainly have to be an early enrollee, but we don't know. You know, I found it really interesting. The school put out an email yesterday saying it's going to be a private ceremony.
Yes.
And I actually respect that. I mean, it's been a rat race, and he doesn't want to dump on Georgia, I'm sure.
Right.
I mean, I mean, it's all this makes me think is he's a pretty good kid.
Yes. And I think that's why he put the tweet out yesterday of not sure where this is coming from.
He was disappointed.
I think it got leaked, and he wanted to be the one to tell
yes.
Kirby Smart and those guys at Georgia that, hey, I'm not going to be coming.
Because I mean, I'm guessing he was going to do it after practice, and this stuff all came out like well before then.
Right.
But that didn't mean it wasn't true.
Yes. Yes. And that's why all of the insiders said, don't worry about this. He's still coming. I think he just was upset that it wasn't coming from him.
Yes.
That it got out there on social
media. And that he didn't get to, like you said, talk to Georgia first.
Right. And Jared Curtis that is a game-changing recruit for this Vanderbilt football team.
Yeah.
Not just because of what he can do on the field, but we talked about it yesterday. 5 stars want to play with 5 stars, and 4 stars want to play with 5 stars. You bring in Jared Curtis, it opens up the door for all of these other recruits to say, hey, maybe we can stay in Nashville too.
Well, I think it's an indication of commitment to the program. Okay. Because they've got the upgraded stadium. They're working on upgrading other facilities.
Yes. They're making a football experience center or something like that.
They've committed to Clark Lee long-term. They've committed to his coaching staff long-term. They've committed more money to NIL. So the signal to Jared Curtis is, we're going to put players around you like we did for Diego Pavia, so you don't have to worry that you're going to have to do everything.
Right.
We're going to put you in position to succeed, because otherwise, like past years, a top recruit, why would you go play at Vanderbilt when you don't even know who you're going to be throwing to? You don't know if all your receivers are 4.8 guys. All right. I mean, just realistically, but I mean, they got speed everywhere now.
Yeah.
And in the offensive line. And so if you could tell a recruit, and we're not just talking about Jared Curtis, hey, we're going to put these guys around you. Now you can tell your skill guys, we have the number one quarterback in America who's going to throw you the football. It opens doors.
Yes.
All right. And again, they open those doors for themselves. And then the last part was the proof of product. And the proof of product was delivered this year. And so that's open doors for them. It'll be interesting to see how many other guys can follow.
Yeah.
And again, signing day isn't what it used to be, because really the transfer portal is almost more important than signing day is now, because how many of these guys actually stick around for 4 years? I'm sure it's minuscule.
Yeah.
To
stay 4 years at the same school is not very common anymore.
Is it 50% of a recruiting class now stays for 4 years? I mean, I don't have no idea.
I would honestly guess less.
Yeah.
In terms of guys who leave for the NFL after 3 years and guys who transfer, I would say less than 50% of a recruiting class actually stays.
Because a lot of guys now just see, hey, I'm not going to play, I'm going.
Right.
Or hey, I played, and now I'm going to see how much I'm worth.
Yes, I played here, but maybe Alabama or Ohio State can offer me more in the
Yes.
transfer portal. Right now, Vanderbilt's recruiting class is 28th in the country. 1 5-star, 3 4-stars, 16 3-stars for this Vandy team.
That's still
according
way better than
to
anything
247.
I
mean,
remember.
in the SEC, that puts them
12th.
11th.
Yeah.
Just ahead of Ole Miss. But I mean, the SEC is crazy. You look at Alabama's got 3 5-stars. Tennessee has 3 5-stars, including Faison Brandon. We talked about this yesterday, that this sets up a possible rivalry from year one, because I think Brandon's going to get every opportunity to start this year. It'll be him and McIntyre and Merklinger, but I think Brandon's going to be given every opportunity to be the day one starter. I think Curtis too. We do have a texter saying he is an early enrollee. I don't know if that's confirmed, but
that would make the most sense.
Right. If
He's
part of the reason
the early enrollee.
Okay, he is.
Okay.
It would make the most sense, right? I mean, if part of the reason he's coming to Vanderbilt is to play right away.
Yeah, to start this year.
Yeah, I think jumping in,
he'd have to be this spring.
Yeah, I don't think you can turn it around in 2 or 3 months and become the starting quarterback.
You can't just bring him on campus and say, well, let's hope he's good enough. I mean, this way you get through the spring and if, hey, we got to bring in a veteran.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yep.
I mean, because you might say, hey, he's insanely gifted, but mentally with what he's going to see, he's just not ready.
Only one transfer portal window this year too. So they are going to have to make that decision immediately, whether they want to bring in a veteran or not.
Then they need to just bring in
I think you need to have an insurance plan.
Yes.
Not even just for, is Curtis ready?
If Curtis gets hurt,
right. You, as much as I think, Blaze Berlowitz, who's gotten in there, has impressed a little bit. I don't know if you feel good about Curtis and Berlowitz being your 1 and 2 heading into next year.
Is it with the former South Carolina head coach? Former Texas.
Yeah.
His son.
Whit Muschamp.
Yeah, Muschamp.
Yeah.
Muschamp's there.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Adam in Portland is called in. Adam, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Hey, Corey, you're the GOAT, man. When are you coming on 5 days a week? Is that not a good idea?
When News 2 fires me. That's when that happens.
We'll see if we can make that happen for you, man. I'm excited to get to hear you over here.
I appreciate it. I got a daughter to put through college, though.
Okay, well, we'll leave it alone.
We'll see if we can make that happen.
Here's the thing, man. So I'm sitting here listening to y'all talk about this. Can you believe in our lifetimes that Vanderbilt would flip a quarterback from Georgia?
No.
Oh my God, dude, this is huge news. It should be. I mean, it was on ESPN as one of the top things, but golly, dude, and you look at how. All right, I say Lane Kiffin's a good coach. He's a good coach.
He's a very good coach.
I think Clark Lee's a good coach. They're completely opposite coaches.
Yeah.
The vibes they bring, LSU is going to be a team full of villains, and Vandy is going to be a team full of hopefuls, man. That's what your coaches do.
They are like Clark Kent and the Joker, man. They are totally like that, Adam. You're absolutely right. Just complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Adam, let me ask you this. Did you ever think that Vanderbilt football on a national landscape would matter? They matter now.
No, dude, I remember the Woody days, and tickets were $7, and we would go in and we get the best seats in the house, and the stadium not taken care of, and I'm like, man, they're going to kick Vandy out of the SEC. That's what I always thought. I'm like, at some point they're going to kick them out. So no, dude, not in a million years. And it's just they flipping that quarterback. I'm like, Pavia is special. Clark Lee is really special too. But I'm starting to think Clark Lee is a bigger deal than what initially I was thinking. I think it's the quarterback. Now I'm thinking Clark Lee's got a lot to do with what's coming.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Adam. It's a very good point that Clark Lee, Diego Pavia deserves a ton of credit for everything that's happened with Vanderbilt. But Clark Lee, after losing 10 straight games in 2023, completely rethought of what he wanted to do with this program. Yeah. And he brought in Jerry Kill. He brought in Tim Beck. And, of course, Diego Pavia coming in and being the player that he's been is a large reason for all the success. But Clark Lee not being set in his ways and saying, this is the way we've done it, and we're going to make it work. He rethought how he wanted this program to run, and he's turned it around in 2 years.
He recognized what he was doing wasn't going to work, and they had to figure it out. And,
right.
And you're right. The willingness to change and adapt to the landscape. I mean, there's a guy at Clemson who could learn from that.
Yes.
Right. And so, I mean, some people wouldn't want to bring in a coach with the voltage of Jerry Kill. I think Penn State would be smart to hire Jerry Kill right now. I know people might think that's crazy. Jerry Kill wins everywhere he goes. All right. And so Penn State could do a lot worse than Jerry Kill right now. Having him on the staff is huge, but ultimately it's Jimmy's and Joe's.
Right.
And they've got better players. All right. And can they continue to get better players and then develop those players? I mean, that's a big part of having Jerry Kill on the team, on the coaching staff. He wipes out all the nonsense.
Yes, he does.
There's a reason this team doesn't get penalized, and Jerry Kill is a big part of that. And Clark Lee deserves high accolades for all of that because he's at the top of it. They were behind on NIL when they took over. They were behind on transfers when they took over, and now they're competitive. In all of it. He has had a lot. People kept asking me if Clark could leave, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah, I never thought it was
because he's finally got the things in place that he needed to get in place. They've got the stadium and they know the infrastructure still needs to get better there, but they've got the money for players. They've got the money for coaches. They've got the commitment, and we'll see if it stays. We've seen the commitment flash before, but not to this level. But I think Vanderbilt got a taste of winning, and I think they like it.
Yep. And they bring in Jared Curtis, the #1 quarterback recruit in the country. He signs today. And Diego Pavia competing for the Heisman Trophy. We will talk about that coming up next. Then we'll get into the Titans, Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. This holiday season, 1025 The Game is looking out for the kids. We want to donate a bunch of stuffed toys to the Nashville Children's Alliance to be given to kids this holiday, but we can't do it without you. Join us at a Dunkin' location near your neighborhood the week of December 8th through the 12th to drop off a stuffed toy that a child will love. Find the locations now at thegamenashville.com/toy. Also, we would like to thank the Metro Nashville Police Department for all their help with this promotion as well. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up here on 1025 The Game.
Have you watched the Eddie Murphy doc?
I have not, but I saw Parker queuing that one up in there.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very good.
I love Eddie Murphy.
Well, I mean, I grew up with him.
Right.
I mean, I was like 10 when he hit on SNL. So,
right.
I mean, I was in Eddie Murphy prime. I've seen Eddie's career go up, crash, go up again, and crash again. And
yeah, he disappeared there for a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
He wasn't in anything for the better part of 10 years.
I think he made some mistakes along the way, and I don't know if he would acknowledge that or not. I mean, he's filthy, stinky rich.
Yeah.
But it's I learned more about him because like the whole thing is pretty much through his eyes and his words. I recommend anybody watch it. It was good.
I might have to check it out. Do you know what it's on? I'll look it up. We'll figure it out.
I'm gonna guess Netflix, but I don't know for sure. And if you haven't watched Death by Lightning yet on Netflix, you really should.
All right. I might have to check it out.
4 parts.
Okay. I've been looking for something to watch. So
Death
there we
by
go.
Lightning.
We will wrap up the Vandy talk here and talk some Titans on the other side. We have not gotten to the Titans yet, but we haven't talked about Diego Pavia's Heisman case. And this has been a constant topic when Corey's come on Wednesdays is whether Diego Pavia can win the Heisman.
Yeah.
And the month of November, the stats started to match the idea of, hey, this guy is so important to this team. Well, guess what? Now he has over 4,000 total yards this season. He's got 36 touchdowns. And depending on where you look, he is the favorite to win the Heisman heading into conference championship weekend.
He has 1,000 yards clear of Sayan and Mendoza.
Yep.
1,000. And my thing that I have said, and I will continue to say, they are both great players. So don't get me wrong on that. But we're talking about only one can win. All 3 start at Vanderbilt. Which one wins the most games?
Right. It's Diego. And you put Diego on Indiana or Ohio State, I would guess they'd probably still be undefeated.
They look exactly the same as they do now.
Yep.
Every play, and this is another argument I always make, run or pass, every play goes through Diego Pavia. Every play. Every snap that Vanderbilt takes outside of punts and kicks goes through Diego Pavia.
Yep.
You cannot say that about the other 2 quarterbacks. Julian Sayan, surrounded by 5-star players. All right. Kurt Cignetti and his system proved last year they could take a guy from Ohio and operate at a really, really high level.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia has elevated a team that has been a perennial doormat to the cusp of the college football playoff. There are so many metrics, and believe me, I have Tennessee fans telling me he's a fraud and that he's not a good passer. And I'm like, you got to take the hate blinders off for a second. I'm not a Vanderbilt fan.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not. I don't hate him, but I mean, I'm neutral. Okay. This is just me watching. And if you don't think he is the best player in college football, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you can see like the odds have shifted significantly. He was like 20-1 heading into the game on Saturday.
No, it wasn't that.
It was close to that.
I thought it was like 6 or 8-1.
It might have been closer to 10, but he
was in the top 4.
Right. But I think he was behind. He might have been behind Jeremiah Love.
He was
heading into Saturday.
And Jeremiah Love dropped to like plus 4,000.
But I think the casual observer of college football has started to look at the numbers
and go, whoa,
wow, Diego Pavia.
He's this good?
It's not just that he's doing it at Vanderbilt. He actually might be the best college football, the player in college football.
The shift this weekend was incredible. All right. Now, there's a huge danger for Diego.
Yeah.
And that's the Big Ten championship. If either one of those guys has an electric game, it could push them across the finish line.
Yes.
The thing I will continue to say about Sayan is he may not be the best player on his team.
He's the 5th best player on his team.
Okay.
At best.
And so that's a problem.
Right.
If Mendoza loses, then I don't care how good he is. He lost.
Joe Rexrode said that on Monday about Sayan, and I agree. I don't know how you can vote number 1, Julian Sayan, and actually believe it, because it's supposed to be the best player, not the quarterback on the best team.
It's not the Gino Torretta Award.
Yes.
Okay. it's the best player. And that's why, like, I have him and Haw over my Heisman ballot every year.
Yeah.
I take it really, really seriously, and I want to get it right. And believe me, I compare what a lot of people are saying nationally because I want to, like last year, I'll give you my example. Last year, I wanted to put Tyler Warren on my ballot.
Yeah.
I really did. I like Tyler Warren a lot, and I wanted him in my top 3, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because, like, a lot of his stats, he had one game where he went like bonkers. He had like 16 or 20 receptions for like 200 plus yards.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the numbers were good, not great. Not like Heisman numbers.
Right.
But that one game really inflated everything. And I went, and I ended up putting Cam Ward third on my ballot. And I'm like, Cam Ward put up huge numbers.
He was the best quarterback in college football last year.
And so, I actually voted for Ashton Genty first.
Yeah, and that was a tough one last year because
it was
Travis Hunter was doing something no one had done before or in a very long time of playing both ways and doing it both at a high level. But Ashton Genty also almost broke Barry Sanders' rushing record.
He also got put on blast to America because he played for Deion. Look, if he played at Utah, he wouldn't have won the Heisman last year.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have.
Right.
Ashton Genty would have won.
He had the spotlight on him.
Yes. Every week. And Deion, good coach, made sure of that.
Yes.
And by the way, he's a great player. I mean, with this, not easy to decide. But I just looked at what Ashton Genty did, and I was like, good Lord.
Yeah. I mean, he was the most dominant player in college football last year.
He was. He was a force.
And I think 9 years out of 10, we're talking about this with Vanderbilt getting into the playoff. 9 years out of 10, I think Ashton Genty wins the Heisman Trophy last year. But
it's harder because he's not a quarterback.
Yes. But a running back puts up the numbers that he did, and you win the Heisman almost guaranteed.
Well,
but you had Travis Hunter again playing for Deion Sanders and doing something so unique that it overshadowed Ashton Genty.
As I look at this year, I really think it's between Mendoza and Pavia.
Yeah.
As I consider my ballot. But then I consider Love and Sayin. I think Love's a better player.
I think Jeremiah Love deserves more credit for what he's doing because he's not playing the whole game either.
No.
And he's got like 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns.
No, he's sharing time with some other talented players.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, I know Titan fans love Jeremiah.
I would love to have
Jeremiah Love. I see all over the place. The Titan fans want Jeremiah Love with their second first-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, if you trade back and you get multiple first-round picks and you're able to get a wide receiver or an edge rusher with the first pick, Jeremiah, I'm not a huge running back early, but that's a guy that could just be a playmaker.
If you're going to draft a running back in the first 2 rounds, he better be special.
And I think Jeremiah Love is.
I would agree with you. I think he would be. I think he would be worth it. But I just when you look at that, he's the first. Look, Peyton Manning played in the SEC, right? I mean, we got a long list of great players in SEC history. None of them went for 400 yards 4 games in a row. None of them. All right. This was 4. By the way, I don't think any of these were non-conference games, right? They're all conference games.
No, it's
Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, and
Tennessee.
Yeah. And at Texas and at Tennessee.
Yep.
Okay. And by the way, they know he's coming. They know every play's coming through him.
Right.
They just can't stop him. All right. Ty Simpson had to win the job at Alabama this year, and he was very good. All right. But he also had some clunkers.
Yeah. The Oklahoma game basically disqualified him from the Heisman. He was right up there at the top of the list. And then he had the Oklahoma game. He turned the ball over a couple times and he hasn't been talked about for the Heisman since.
I don't think he was great this last weekend either.
No. And I think you're right. I think it's Mendoza or it's Pavia. If Fernando Mendoza, he's got an opportunity to control his own destiny for the Heisman. Go out and beat Ohio State this weekend and look good doing it. If you go throw 3 touchdowns and beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, Diego, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to win.
Look, I need to see, and I'm just telling you, as someone who's mulling his ballot.
Right.
I need to see something I haven't seen yet from Mendoza.
Yeah.
And I know everybody said, well, yeah, that touchdown pass to beat Penn State. He was terrible the first 3 quarters.
Yeah. And that catch was more about what the receiver did than what Mendoza. I mean, it was a good throw, but.
Well, he led the drive.
Right.
He led the drive. And I don't hate Fernando Mendoza, but I can only vote for one of them first.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about here. All right. And so I've got a different, it's like the playoffs. We only got 12 spots.
Yeah.
And I got to find some differentiation. And right now, there's one guy whose stats are wildly different. I heard somebody going over, I wish I could remember who it was. They were going over the metrics of like PFF and stuff. Not Pro Football, it'd be CFF or whatever.
Well, it is PFF, which I guess doesn't make a ton of sense.
They have like big time throws.
Yeah.
And he was like 4th in the country in the number of big time throws, considerably ahead of Mendoza and Sayin.
Yeah.
And that's why when people are like, well, he's not a good thrower, I'm like, you haven't been watching.
Yeah. Last year, he was not an elite thrower of the football. He is turning into, for a college player, an elite thrower of the football.
And his deep ball is really good.
Yeah.
His deep ball is really good.
That one to Richardson against Kentucky down the sideline, you couldn't have run out there and handed it to him any better.
A bunch of really good deep balls this year. I mean, he's just a great player.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
We are 10 days away from finding out whether he will be the first Heisman Trophy winner in Vanderbilt history. And we will see what Mendoza and Sayin do this weekend in Indianapolis. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Let's get into the Titans on the other side. Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward facing off this weekend in a game that much more will be made out of it than it probably needs to be.
Yes.
And Titans are in a little bit of turmoil heading into this week with some of the comments made after the loss to the Jaguars. We'll talk about it next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly.
What a win!
9-3 for
what
the Chicago
a win!
Bears.
You know what? I've been putting the Bears down, tempering expectations because they didn't have good wins.
Yeah.
The best win was the Steelers.
There you go.
I did not expect them to go to Philadelphia and not just win, but they dominated for 4 quarters.
Yes, they did.
There was never a moment you thought the Eagles were going to win that game.
It was never in doubt.
No.
And the Bears are 9-3, number 1 seed.
Number 1. Don't
in
forget
the
it.
NFC.
Uno.
And they've got the Packers this week.
Yeah, Robbie and I bet lunch on that.
There
one.
you go.
We bet lunch.
There you go.
If the Bears can split with the Packers this year, that would be huge.
Yeah. I mean, you win this one, the division's starting to look pretty attainable for the Bears. I mean, it already is, but like you win this one, you're in the driver's seat. So
they've got a tough schedule. They got the Packers twice. They've got another tough one in there too. They got the rematch with the Lions still.
Yeah,
I mean, it could turn south in a hurry.
Yeah, they got Bears, Browns, Packers, 49ers, Lions.
49ers. Geez.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a gauntlet.
Outside of Cleveland, it's not going to be easy for the Bears, but likely going to be a playoff team at the very minimum.
Well, look, they're 9-3, and if I said they finished 10-7, would you be stunned?
No,
not with that schedule.
No, it's very possible, but they could also win 3 out of those 5 and finish 12-5.
If they finish 12-5, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable season for Ben Johnson.
Even 11-6, I'm like, that's a really good year with that schedule down the stretch.
Yep, and they're in first place. We do have to talk about the last place, Tennessee Titans.
Not just first place in the NFC.
Yeah, in
the NFC.
In the entire NFC. They would get a bye if the season ended today.
Wow.
The Titans, it was funny. Yesterday, I did go to the Preds game last night.
Yeah, they rolled.
Yeah. First time I have seen them win in person. I was horrible luck.
Clark
for the
Lee
Predators.
was there.
Yeah. We left about midway through the third period. And that was when they showed Diego Pavia on the Jumbotron.
Oh, Diego was there too?
Yeah, he was there too. But finally, my curse on the Preds is over. Every time I went, they didn't just lose. They lost like 6-0 every time I went.
Jake, that had nothing to do with you, brother.
I understand.
Okay.
They're 5-1 win over Calgary last night. But anyway, I was watching on the TV and they had an NFL Network on as we were going into the game, and I saw the AFC South standings, and I was like, man, the Titans are not just 6 games back of first; they're 6 games back of third place in the division. Titans now 1-11, and
Steve Lehman asked that question on Monday to the players: how big does the mountain in the AFC South look to you?
Yeah,
not just in this year, but in years ahead, and they had the correct answer. We can't worry about that. We can only worry about the next game, which is absolutely you win one, and then you start seeing if you can stack them.
Right.
And then, I mean, because look, it looked like the division was the Colts.
Yeah. The Colts had it locked up. Now the Jaguars in first place now?
Jaguars are in first.
And then the Texans are a game back.
Yes. And right now it looks like the Colts are headed for third place.
Right.
Because Daniel Jones is hurting and it's affecting his play.
Yep.
And they have dropped off significantly. They need him operating at 100% to be a really good football team.
And right now, that is maybe one of the most intriguing division races in the entire NFL, which I don't think you would have expected even 4 weeks into the season.
Yeah, it's funny because none of them have elite quarterback play.
No, they don't. CJ Stroud he's a fine quarterback, but he's taken a step back.
Oh yeah, he's regressed.
And Trevor Lawrence is what Trevor Lawrence is. I mean,
he's okay.
He's an average quarterback.
Yes. And Daniel Jones was playing at an elite level, but now that he's hurt, he is not.
Right. Yeah, he's got a fracture in his leg, right?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Basically can't move around at
Broken
all.
leg is a problem.
That is usually an issue for an athlete. But the Titans are 1-11, and after the game on Sunday, it when you talk about a coach losing a locker room, that's what it looks like. And I understand it's an interim head coach, and I don't love Cam Ward, publicly calling out Mike McCoy's decisions and Jeffrey Simmons saying we need a leader in here.
Well, that's true, but yeah.
I mean, Mike McCoy obviously has not done a very good job since taking over as the interim head coach.
Well, but just last week we were saying they were getting better under Mike McCoy, right?
It was hard to get worse.
Well, it was, but they were getting worse.
They still have not won a game under Mike McCoy.
No, they haven't, but they played 3 one-score games against teams with winning records, and we thought they were getting better. they turn in an absolute stinker last week.
That was a horrible performance.
It was horrific. It was, and the thing was we all took the cheese and thought they were going to continue to play better.
Right.
They didn't have to win. They just had to continue to play at a level that was watchable.
Yeah. That Seahawks game is the most watchable game the Titans have had all year. And
the Rams game was
I guess that's
they led that game in the fourth quarter.
Right, they did. So, yes, you have a couple of games this year that have been watchable.
But so, and again, I'm not sitting here saying Mike McCoy is the bee's knees or all that. I'm just saying we're doing a lot of bashing of the interim head coach based on professional athletes not showing up for a game at home against an opponent that you think they can compete with.
Right.
The players, and this is my opinion, need to look in the mirror first before they blame the interim head coach who is there to basically get them across the finish line.
Basically just a babysitter.
Mike McCoy is not there to build a culture.
No.
All right. He's not. He's there to lead you guys to the finish. Someone has to lead us to the finish. I have the answers. I have to what we're going to do. You may not like them. You may not agree with them, but I'm in charge and this is what they're going to do. That's his job. Mike Mularkey did a great job as the Titans interim head coach. He won 2 games.
Yeah.
All right. There's a reason you have an interim head coach. You're the worst team in football. All right. You're the worst team in football. Do they need to hire a good head coach? Hell yes, they do. Everybody knows that. That doesn't need to be said. But to sit here and blame Mike McCoy because he didn't go for it on 4th down.
Right.
I mean, come on. You're going to lose the game. You're not good. Show up to play.
The explanation from McCoy was horrible on not going for it on 4th and 3.
It was. I don't care.
Horrible. And Mike McCoy, I said it to you during the break. Usually an interim head coach is a guy that the players rally around. And
that's why we thought it was going to be Bones.
Right. Mike McCoy has not been that. But to be honest, it might be a good thing that Mike McCoy is crashing and burning as the interim head coach because it makes sure that he does not even get an interview to be the permanent head coach of this team.
He was going to have to win 5 or 6 games to get that opportunity.
The Titans have shown in the past that they like to hire the interim.
Okay, look, they have. But I mean, I know from the Mularkey thing, and by the way, Mularkey was a good coach.
Yes.
Who got fired wrongly. And I will fight anybody tooth and nail on that.
But the team, even though they only won 2 games, you could see the team rallied around Mike Mularkey.
But Mike Mularkey was a guy who had been on their radar before. When they hired Mike Munchak, Mike Mularkey was like number 2. All right. I know there were people there that wanted to hire Mike Mularkey over Mike Munchak. So as soon as Mike Mularkey got hired to be the tight ends coach, I thought to myself, what the hell is Ken Wisenhunt doing? When he gets fired, this guy's going to replace him because they like this guy more than you already.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's exactly what happened. And I knew that once Mularkey got his foot in the door, there were people there who wanted him to stay in it, and he didn't do anything to lose that job. All right. And that is not this case.
No.
That is not this case at all. And again, I don't dislike Mike McCoy. I don't love Mike McCoy. I appreciate Mike McCoy for the job he has to do.
Right.
And it's a tough situation. Job.
Yeah.
We've seen, who's the guy in the Raiders?
Bisaccia?
No, Pierce.
Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, a strong finish to the season, and they kept him.
Yeah.
And then they stunk.
Right. And that's why I'm glad that there is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
He is not going to be the next head coach.
Get him
Titans.
Across the line. That's
right. And that's kind of where I think the whole Titans fan base is. It's like, let's just get this season over with.
Well, the constant nitpicking of the guy, I'm just like, I mean, and I know, look, PK and Joe are passionate about it. I guess my expectations of an interim head coach are just different.
Yeah.
My expectation of the players is a heck of a lot higher. And they, as competitors, should hold themselves to a higher standard than blaming someone else for them not playing well.
Yeah. I didn't love calling him out publicly. Like, you can be upset about the
how about
head
this?
Coach as much as you
Give
want.
me a reason to believe you're going to make this play on 4th down.
Yeah.
Because if you do, like in Seattle, against Seattle, I'll go for it again.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know if you can complete a 3-yarder. I just don't. All right. That's the way this game is going. Give me a reason to believe. Give me a reason to believe that this offensive line is going to get me a yard.
Well, that was
I need a yard.
That was on the first drive of the game when they had been moving the ball.
Yeah, and you know what? I would have kicked it too. You don't want to come up empty on that drive.
I know, but they want. Mike McCoy's trying to win every game 3-0.
No, he's not. He's trying to put points on the board.
I understand, but this team,
should Vrabel have gone for it every time on Monday night when he's kicked 17 field goals?
No, but as a Patriots team, you have to know that your offense is good enough to get back down there.
Yeah, you know what? As a Titans offense, is 7-0 going to win you the game?
No, probably not. But it has a better
you need
chance
points.
Than 3-0.
Coming away with nothing is demoralizing.
No, I agree. I
would have kicked the field goal at halftime, Jake. I would have kicked it at halftime and gone in 15-6 and been plenty happy. With the way that game was going, 15-6 looked awesome, knowing I was getting the football.
It's a fair point, and they did not score the rest of the game after that.
Like, we could go for fourth down all day if I think I'm actually going to convert it. There's no reason to believe they were going to convert. They couldn't convert third down. Why are they going to convert fourth down?
The argument is they have nothing to lose. Like, what's the...
Yeah, they do have something to lose. Points on the board, all right? Lose even more confidence than you've already lost, all right? Give me a reason to believe that you're going to convert it on fourth down if you want. That would be my answer to Cam Ward. Prove to me, get third down once in a while, and then we'll go get fourth down.
We'll hear from Cam Ward and Mike McCoy later on today. We'll see if they have any comments on what went down at the end of the game on Sunday.
I'm a little passionate.
I can tell. I can tell. We're going to talk about the game coming up on Sunday. Probably not going to be pretty. Browns and Titans in Cleveland.
It's in Cleveland, man. There's nothing pretty there.
It's in Cleveland. It's going to be sub-freezing temperatures. You got two rookie quarterbacks and Myles Garrett chasing the single-season sack record. We'll talk about it next. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. Wrapping up hour number 2. Andrew Allegretta from Vanderbilt football going to join us at the top of the hour.
By the way, I want to apologize. I got a little boisterous there.
It's okay.
They're 1-11.
No, we
boil over.
We're all upset.
I didn't swear though.
No, you didn't.
That was
you
good.
Didn't.
I held it back.
We kept it at one swear word on the show today.
You should see me like when I have to, like, because Julian and the station and I, we switch which games we go to and stuff.
Yeah.
You should see me at my desk sometimes or hear me at my desk sometimes. Just, what are you doing?
I'm sure there was a lot of that on Sunday
yeah.
Between the Titans and Jags. And honestly, you might get it for both sides on Sunday between the Browns and the Titans. It might just be a whole game of what are you doing?
Yeah.
Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward facing off.
Yep.
And we were just talking about it during the break of Myles Garrett. He is 3.5 sacks away from tying the single season sack record with Michael Strahan.
That record is on
and
watch.
TJ Watt. And I have a tough time believing it's not going to be Myles Garrett's record by the time the game ends on Sunday.
The bigger record is this: Derek Thomas with 7
in one game.
In one game. I mean, Myles Garrett is a mutant. Like, I'm pretty sure if you checked his DNA, he is from another planet. He is not a normal human being. We talked about it before. Myles Garrett, Derrick Henry, Aaron Donald. These are not normal.
They were built in a lab.
Yeah, somewhere, not here.
Somebody went and picked and chose and said, "This is what you need to be the greatest football player of all time."
What did they do to Captain America? They took
the
shoved
super
him
serum
in a tank, and they just injected him with everything. I mean, that's what these guys are.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I always bring it up because it's still. I laughed out loud watching it of the Titans motioning a tight end back and forth following Myles Garrett on the field. And I heard Joe and Paul on Robbie and Rex Road this morning saying Oli Udoh should just go to the official and say, "I'm eligible just all day. Don't even worry about it. I am playing tight end today." And just play with 6 offensive linemen.
And I said, I'll see that and raise it. And I'm going to start Corey Levin at tailback.
Corey Levin is your running back. So you've got, you're just going to keep 7 into block the entire time.
Right.
3-man routes the entire day.
That's right.
See what you can do.
Mike Mularkey used to run 2-man routes with Delaney Walker and Rashard Matthews. It still made it work because the quarterback wasn't getting killed.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be an ugly game on Sunday. It would shock me if the final score, if either team hits 20.
I was going to say 20, yeah.
If either team hits 20.
Like, the first team to hit double figures probably wins the game.
Yeah.
And that's why special teams are going to be huge in this one. And turnovers. I think that ultimately is probably going to be what decides the game.
There is a good chance more points are scored in special teams and defense than on offense in this game.
Like, if you're a gambler, I don't know what the lines are on defensive touchdowns, but you're not going to get near the payday you normally would. Like, first touchdown is usually the best, most profitable bet you can make. Like, take the Browns defense for first touchdown.
Strip sack.
You might have something.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be ugly, and I think we all know that. People are going to make way more out of it if Shedeur Sanders beats Cam Ward on Sunday
against all odds.
I promise you,
against all odds, Shedeur beat the Titans.
I'll eat crow if Shedeur Sanders actually does go out and lights up the Titans defense and the Browns win. But if the Browns beat the Titans, it's not going to be because of Shedeur Sanders.
I don't love Shedeur Sanders. I don't hate Shedeur Sanders.
No.
He just hasn't done anything yet.
Right.
All right. He's completing 42% of his passes that aren't screens.
Yeah.
Okay? That's not good. That's not good. And every time he misses a pass doesn't mean it was someone else's fault. It's okay for it to be his fault. It's okay for him to be a rookie and have to get better.
Yes.
All right. So, again, I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who's going to play better. All right. I do know this. The Browns have a better roster than the Titans do.
Yes.
They just do. So the Browns are home and they have a better roster and both offenses stink. So the Browns should win the football game. I think they're only like a 4-point favorite, which is
at home
shocking,
too, which is crazy.
Which is shocking.
I mean, but Myles Garrett should give them against the Titans offensive line should give them like a 4-point bump immediately.
Yeah. I mean, so it's very interesting. Here's one thing. I guess this could be called hot take.
Go ahead.
All right. There are certain times when you celebrate. All right. When teams are down 21 points and the guy makes a play and celebrates, I hate that. I hate that. Right now, neither Shedeur nor Cam are good enough to celebrate. I would can the signature celebrations until you're actually competitive in the league again.
Yeah.
Because neither of them are competitive. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't think they're talented and can't be good quarterbacks. You're not there yet. All you're celebrating is based on what you did in college.
Right.
All right. You haven't done anything on this level to say, hey, I've got a signature celebration. All right. I mean, Cam's got how many?
He's got
6 touchdown passes?
6 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown.
Okay.
Yeah. Not great.
No. Get some more touchdowns.
He might have 7 passing.
Throw 2 touchdown passes in a game and then bust out the celebration for me.
Yeah, I think there's a better chance that we see the defenses doing the Zombieland or the perfect timing rather than Cam or Shador.
I mean, Shador, if you want to say perfect timing on your screen passes, that's great. But that's not what you should be worried about.
Yeah.
All right. That's I'm old. I know that. But I'm like, really? This is what we're worried about?
Yeah.
Is doing this? I mean, your teams are terrible.
Right.
Let's be more worried about that. And I'm not against fun. I'm not against celebrations. I'm for timely celebrations.
Yes.
Okay. That's
you need to find the perfect timing.
Well, not the perfect timing. How about acceptable timing?
Yeah. No, it's true.
You know, like when Cam scored the running touchdown against Seattle and they're in the game, boom, busted out.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
But
second touchdown of the game, you're in the game with Seattle, crowd's on its feet, bust out that celly.
But down 24-0 if you get a first down.
No. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Or checking your watch on a screen pass.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I'm not picking on these two guys. You see it all over the league.
I mean, it's everybody.
Like I love the receiver who catches the ball down 48-0 who signals first down.
Yeah.
Dude, game awareness.
The cornerback who goes incomplete after the ball gets thrown 8 feet over the wide receiver's head.
Or they've given up 40 already.
Right.
I got to stop on that one.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll get to your thoughts in the final hour of the show. But coming up next, Andrew Allegretta from Vanderbilt Football will join us. We'll get his thoughts on Vanderbilt's win in Knoxville on Saturday, Diego Pavia's Heisman case, and much more. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Final hour on this Wednesday. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly broadcasting live from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We start this hour by going to our phone lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Andrew Allegretta, voice of Vanderbilt football, is joining us for his weekly visit to the program. Andrew, thanks for taking some time.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing great. Before we start talking about, all of the big topics around Vanderbilt, we had a caller, Kenny the mailman, who called in, and he was enamored with your call at the end of the game of the only colors left in this stadium are black, gold, and aluminum. So he wanted us to let you know how great of a call that was and thinks it should be on a T-shirt.
Oh, then you and I both know exactly where the royalties need to go for that one, don't we?
Yes, we do. Andrew, last night, obviously a disappointing result with the college football playoff rankings. Vanderbilt stays at number 14. Is it difficult as someone who's a part of the program and of course, rooting for this team to kind of deal with the emotions of the disappointment of likely not getting into the playoffs, but also the appreciation for all of the success that this program has had throughout this season?
Okay, so first off, I should have said thank you to Kenny. It was a borrowed phrase from a friend of ours, but I do appreciate the sentiment. It is a wonderful line. Okay, so the emotional state of someone associated with the program. I'm going to speak for myself exclusively and nobody else. I think one of the things, and I had conversations with Norm and with some of our crew that I felt coming off of the Kentucky game, coming into the Tennessee game, is I didn't want to do with Tennessee what I felt like I did too much of with Kentucky, which was make everything all about the college football playoff. Because at the end of the day, whether Vanderbilt gets in or does not get in, and I certainly understand where the rankings sit currently, it is disrespectful to the work of the coaches and the players that made this transformative season possible. And one of the things that coming out of all of this, and this is not a white flag, like you play to win a national championship, as Clark says, winning is the mission. But one of the frustrating elements of all of the narrative in college football these days is from day one in August, the only thing we talk about is the playoffs. It's it. And 12 teams are going to make it. A bunch of teams aren't. So you sit there and you go, all of a sudden, an 8-4 season is bad because we've been conditioned to only care about the playoffs. So anyway, all of that is to say, is there clear frustration with how this has played out? Obviously, I'm a human being. I work with these guys. I want them to reap the rewards of their success, for sure. But as I breathe and I take a breath and step back, I want to make sure that I don't disrespect how joyful this season has been and how wonderful the work has been of Diego and Clark and Tim Beck and Steve Gregory and all of these players. They deserve, whether it's through the playoffs or not, to be celebrated for a transformative year.
And there's a chance that Diego Pavia could be celebrated in New York coming up in just about a week and a half as the Heisman Trophy winner. This weekend's game in Knoxville has clearly vaulted him up in the odds, the rankings for the Heisman Trophy. What would your case be for Diego Pavia to take home the Heisman Trophy in New York and become Vanderbilt's first Heisman winner ever?
For me, it's that he checks every single box, right? So I think a lot of times the Heisman becomes about the best player on the best team or the statistics or the narrative or the moment or the plays. Like, people sort of aim their target in different spots as to why you could choose an individual player for that award. I think if you aim at any target, Diego is going to come out on top. Statistically, I mean, there's a million statistics you could point to, whether it's total yards and touchdowns and body of work, or that absolutely ridiculous statistic that Cole Kubelik had, that Diego is the first player in SEC history to have 4 straight 400-yard performances. That's bonkers with all of the players that have played in this league. The statistics, Diego's got them. If it's a transformative player, clearly, Diego is transformative and means more to Vanderbilt than anybody, with all due respect to Mendoza, who's duplicating what O'Rourke kind of did a season ago for Indiana, or what Sayin is duplicating for a treasure trove of other Ohio State quarterbacks. Diego means more to Vanderbilt. And then on top of that, how many times have we seen Diego just do absurd things? Like Norm's favorite line on our broadcast is that, how do you defend a player that doesn't know what he's going to do on any given moment? He has checked every box of silly statistics, silly importance, and silly highlights. He clearly is, to me, above everybody else. And those are good players, but he's above everybody else in terms of hitting all of these marks.
Andrew, a couple of points that I want to make and get your take on is, number one, when you look at the other two and you look at him, he is unquestionably the best player on his team. You can't say that for Julian Sand at Ohio State. The other thing that I don't think people take into account enough is this, and I want your take on that. He has to be defended every play. Not every quarterback has to be defended every play. Run or pass, he has to be defended every play. And I don't think that's appreciated enough.
And when you don't, Corey, he undresses you. Go talk to, I think it was the LSU game. It was LSU or Auburn. I can't quite remember. Like, one of those defenses, by the way, both of them are national championship caliber, even if the programs themselves had difficult seasons. Those defenses are absurd. Someone played man-to-man defense, which I can't quite remember what it was. They didn't have a spy on Diego, and he addressed him for a 25-yard touchdown run into the south end zone corner against one of those teams. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And the other part that I would tack on again is, like, you can talk about Vanderbilt's schedule and the way that it's perceived at the end of the season. Even at the end of the season, you still have to acknowledge the gauntlet defensively that Diego went through, that Sand didn't, and Mendoza didn't go through. Auburn is a great defense. We hung 45, okay? LSU is a really good defense. We hung more points on LSU than Ole Miss did. And all we hear about is Ole Miss's offense and Lane Kiffin and so on and so forth. Missouri is a tremendous defense. They gave us problems, but when Diego had to come through, he had the touchdown.
Well, and look at just the last game. They beat Tennessee. Who else beat Tennessee? Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma. How much did they beat Tennessee by?
21 points. Vandy made Tennessee quit. Like, be honest.
But the other ones didn't. The other ones didn't. They're the only team that took Tennessee out. And Tennessee was right. The Tennessee should have beat Georgia. They missed a field goal. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, they had opportunities in both those games. They had no opportunity in this game. The only reason they were in the game at halftime was because of 2 first-half turnovers.
I think just with the Tennessee game itself, guys, I marveled at the end how Heupel waved the white flag, like down the stretch in that fourth quarter. Not that it was going to change the outcome of the ball game, but he went to 000 with 3 timeouts in his pocket. Again, I'm not saying that if he uses them, it changes the course of that ball game.
He's just admitting we're beaten.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said it with 90 seconds to go. I was kind of just pondering out loud. Like, is he going to use the timeouts to at least present the opportunity of fighting to the finish? He didn't. He went to 000, 3 timeouts into his pocket, and just let Vanderbilt take it to the finish line. Vandy crushed Tennessee's heart in that game like nobody else did.
And got zero credit for it. Zero credit for it.
Oh, I know. Isn't that crazy? But
yeah, the explanations from the committee have not exactly been sound after these rankings have come out every Tuesday. Andrew, I'll let you go on this one. Obviously, an unbelievable season for Vanderbilt, and I know there will be doubters out there saying, oh, well, once Diego leaves, it's back to same old Vanderbilt. But the momentum for this program right now with Clark Lee's extension, then, of course, the big news this week of bringing in the #1 quarterback recruit in the country and signing him today in Jared Curtis. The future is bright for this program, and that's got to be exciting to be a part of.
100%. And I know we didn't really discuss the playoff rankings a ton, so I'll try to make this quick, and I'll offer my very quick take on all of it. I think clearly what is the most frustrating is the incongruencies with the arguments, right?
Yeah.
We are in a very difficult year. very, very difficult year to try to wedge like 15 teams that are deserving of the playoff into 10 spots. And I think the job that they have is really difficult this year. But clearly the presentations of the arguments
are terrible,
are not good. They're poor. The presentations of the arguments are poor. I don't believe there is any malintent toward Vanderbilt. And I know the word that gets used is brand bias. It's hard for me. I don't know. I'm not in that room. But when Auburn is used to elevate Alabama and devalue Vanderbilt, or when a team that slips is used to elevate Oregon, but devalue Vanderbilt, or a clobbering win of Tennessee and Kentucky knocks teams out of the top 25 in Tennessee's case, so that devalues Vanderbilt, or Miami crushes NC State and they elevate in the rankings, clearly something is not right. Whether that's brand bias, whether it's the way that these guys looked at Vanderbilt, I don't know. I'm not in that room. But clearly the presentation of the arguments are inconsistent across the board.
We said they could have simply said all the other teams have wins over playoff teams and Vanderbilt doesn't. And they could have left it at that.
Sure. But unfortunately they spoke too much.
Yes, exactly.
They spoke too much and told you throughout the course of the entire process that they weren't spending a lot of time talking and thinking about Vanderbilt. And it almost leaves you to the point where you wish they had just said, we don't think you're as good as you think you are. Like, it's right.
Yeah.
It becomes almost like a dating situation where it's like, I like you, but I don't like you that much.
When they moved Texas ahead of them, they told everybody what they thought of Vanderbilt. And I think that's the most disappointing part is, like I said, the performance over Tennessee was completely dismissed. And they said, yeah, that's nice. You got no shot. All right.
Right.
Let's look at this 3-loss Texas team. I know they lost to Florida, but that doesn't matter.
Every argument that was used to elevate a team was also on the flip side used to devalue Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Which again, I'm not sitting here prescribing malice to anything, but I'm not sure what you're expecting Vanderbilt to do differently to find themselves in a situation as the number one rated offense in America, efficiency-wise, number one offense in America, 10-2 against this schedule that has multiple defenses that are national championship caliber. When you're willing to take two sides of the same coin and point Miami up, Texas up, Alabama up, and Vanderbilt down with all of the same arguments, it leaves you very, very unsettled, obviously, from a black and gold perspective.
And we've said it all day. There is a reasonable argument to be made that Vanderbilt shouldn't be in. That is, we're not saying that it's, locked up Vandy should be a playoff team, but they just aren't explaining it the way that they need to. And you're right. They pick and choose who they want to elevate for certain reasons and who they want to devalue. And it's
which is not uncommon. You could take that from a college baseball perspective, a college basketball perspective. Right. Like you see the struggle of a committee trying to validate their decisions all of the time. But this is the moment that we're in. And one thing again, and I know you probably are up against it, and I am thrilled Jared Curtis signed, and I am thrilled I can say his name because it is official now.
Yes.
And he's Curtis. So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah, and my wife's last name is Curtis. It's a tremendous.
Maybe we're all related.
Yeah, we'll find out. But again, I'm going to go back to my beginning point. As frustrated as the moment feels right now, as we breathe, I don't want to let the college football committee decide how we validate the 2025 season for Vanderbilt. Yep. It was unique. It was transformative. It was special. It's going to be something that we hold for forever. And hopefully we can stick a Heisman Trophy somewhere on this campus in the next week or so.
100%. Andrew, always appreciate you coming on, and we wish you luck wherever the postseason takes Vanderbilt football.
Thank you, Jake. Go Dores. Good luck today versus Virginia.
Yes. Women's basketball, men's basketball, both in Memorial Gym. And we will talk about that later on in the show. Andrew Allegretta, voice of Vanderbilt football, joining us for his weekly visit. We'll react to what Andrew had to say on the other side. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly. Big thanks to Andrew Allegretta joining us for his weekly visit, going through Diego Pavia's Heisman case, Vanderbilt's college football playoff case, and much more. Let's go back to our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Our good friend Clay has called in. Clay, thanks for calling. What you got for us today?
Hey, boys. How we doing today?
Doing great.
Sorry, I got distracted there. Corey, this is becoming kind of habit here.
Okay.
So, guys, I could say a lot of things about the way I feel about Vanderbilt getting snubbed, and I do think, they are getting snubbed. But, I'm just trying to enjoy what's been an unbelievable season for this football team.
Yeah.
And what seems to be I've been a Vanderbilt fan for a long time. I would say, I go back and vividly remember being 8 years old, Watson Brown being our quarterback and us beating Alabama. So that's late 60s. So I go back a long way. This has been a magical season for Vanderbilt, and all I want is to go to a good bowl game. This team deserves that. I'd love to go to Orlando. I want to play in the New Year's Day Bowl. And I don't have any doubt that, I'm sure the players are probably going to be disappointed that they're not in the playoffs. I know Clark is probably disappointed that Vanderbilt's not in the playoffs. And
I don't think disappointed covers it with Clark right now.
Yeah. Well, I kind of picked up on that on his press conference on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to say something really bad, but being the professional that he is, he did not. But
I think WTF covers it from
yeah. So anyway, but I have no doubt that this team, wherever they go and whoever they play, they're going to be very motivated. And they're going to play well like they have all year. And an 11-2 season, and surely you end up in the top 10. I mean, in the final poll, that's pretty amazing at Vanderbilt. But across the board, Vanderbilt sports is in as good a shape as it's been in my lifetime.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt about
men's basketball ranked, men's basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball, football, baseball. And that's thanks to Daniel Diermeyer.
By the way, the women's soccer team just went to like the Elite Eight.
The Elite Eight
right?
came up 2 minutes short of the Final Four.
And I think that's what's not talked about enough because, and I'm not trying to be negative here, but Vanderbilt has had some chancellors.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Clay, you're right on the money.
Right.
Yeah, didn't give a rip about sports.
Yes, you don't win by accident. You win by commitment.
Yes. They've made the commitment. I see now that they're doing stuff to the baseball stadium. So that baseball season this year is going to be kind of like football season was when that project was started. Maybe it's kind of a mess, but that they've made the commitment. And that's thanks to not only Candace, but the point I'm trying to make is Daniel Diermeyer wants Vanderbilt sport to be good. And that makes me happy. So anyway, I'm just looking forward to seeing how this thing plays out, where we go, what happens, all that. But I will say this about Diego. I'm not saying he should win the award, but I'm saying that, he deserves to be there. This guy has put our football program on the map, and really cool moment. And I probably said this before, but I just thought a really cool moment when he came off the field, against Kentucky, because I'm not sure there'll ever be another player like him in football. Vanderbilt. We'll see.
No,
I know Jerry Curtis is good, but
but he's not going to be the lightning bolt. I mean, this guy resurrected Vanderbilt football. I mean,
totally.
I
totally agree.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Clay. Appreciate it. All good stuff. I agree with him completely. We talked about the alignment. Daniel Diermeyer, Candace Story-Lee, Clark Lee, it's all working together to get them to win.
It has look, one person can't do it.
No.
Like if you tell the football coach, hey, turn this program around, and you're not going to support him, it doesn't work that way.
And you tell the athletic director, hey, we're not going to give you all that much, but we expect you to win.
Yeah,
it's not going to work
out. It's not going to work that way. So they've invested in winning, and they're winning. Now, you still have to make good decisions after that investment comes in, but they've had people make good decisions. But I think he's exactly right on a number of fronts. Number one, enjoy this season. It's the best season at Vanderbilt in 100 years.
First 10-win season ever.
Yeah. I mean, so absolutely. You can't help it that they left you out. And like we said, somebody's going to get left out. There's going to be other disappointed teams, but enjoy the magical season. Just think of the teams that you beat.
Yeah.
I mean, that you never dreamed of beating, like more than one of them in like 5 years, and you're beating all of them in like 1 year. And that we talked about this just before the break. It's going to be very interesting to see who they get paired up with in bowl games.
Yes.
And the best thing for the future of this program is for that team to go and win that bowl game by 30 points.
Yes.
And to show the committee, this is what you missed out on. You totally missed the boat on this. We're the number one offense in America, and you blew it. All right. So, and they're going to have that opportunity. Now, who are they going to play? Is it going to be Michigan? Is it going to be Notre Dame? I mean, could it be Miami? I mean, you'd like to see them play, to me, one of the higher up teams that gets left out. I don't know if that's the way it'll work out or not, but that's what I'd like to see.
I have a couple of bowl projections up. One of them is Michigan in the Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve in Orlando. And another one has Vandy playing Iowa in the ReliaQuest Bowl.
That's not good enough.
I agree. I would love a big brand like a Michigan, but Vanderbilt could go in and dominate that game. They could. And
they could.
Clay is right that he thinks they're going to go in and play well. I think that's going to be a very motivated team to go say, you left us out. Here's what you missed out on. Because one of these early games, first round games, is going to be a blowout, right? Like probably multiple of them, because you're going to have like Virginia and
Group of Five
in there.
Yeah.
But I would guess that one of the at-large teams is going to get blown out in the first round. And
forgive my ignorance because the rules change. Does the Group of Five guaranteed the highest 5 conference rated, right?
Right.
But what if none of them are in the top 25?
So they have to make a decision on that. 5. So the situation out there now is, what if Duke beats Virginia?
Yeah,
on Saturday.
But what if Tulane loses?
Then North Texas would be in.
Would they be ranked?
Probably not.
Well, but so if they're not ranked, they're not the highest ranked 5th conference champion.
So 5 conference champions have to get in.
James Madison and North Texas were both ranked last night.
Oh, okay, North Texas.
They were both okay.
Oh, okay.
All
so
right.
they've covered.
I was thinking of the AP poll, not the college football.
I was also not.
So they were covering their bases,
right, to make sure that whoever wins is in. Okay, there you go. But yes. So basically, right now,
we have a ranked team.
The winner of the American's going to be in.
Okay.
Tulane or North Texas.
Yes.
And then if Virginia wins, they're in. If Duke wins, James Madison is probably in.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
So
bad.
Vanderbilt, they're going to have a chance to go try and prove everybody wrong in their bowl game. Yeah. And, bowl games have less meaning than they used to, but I think there's going to be, a fire in Vanderbilt to go win that game.
It's funny. I say it's so bad, but, we talk about wanting a system where you win your way in.
Right.
And these teams can win their way in. And I should applaud that they're doing that.
That's what opens it up. When, as much as I hate it, because I hate Virginia, and
I don't hate Virginia, I just don't respect them.
Well, I hate Virginia, and I'm hoping Vandy women's basketball destroys their women's basketball team tonight. But that fan base never had a shot to make a college football playoff before the 12 team. Mm-hmm. Never. Like even the best season in Virginia history probably does not get them into the college football playoff in a 4-team format.
What's amazing is an ACC loss that didn't count.
Yes.
Is what has them in the championship
Yes.
game.
They played NC State as a non-conference.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, I guess I get it. You didn't have them scheduled in the regular season. You say, hey, let's play.
Right.
Yeah, let's play.
So it is crazy, but that is what they wanted to do with the 12-team playoff, is open this up to more fan bases to feel like they have a chance.
I agree. And I'm not against the Group of 5 getting in, because we've seen Group of 5 teams be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Boise State has been really good before. Central Florida has been really
Cincinnati?
good before. Cincinnati.
Well, they're Power 4 now, but
they weren't.
Yeah.
But they weren't. So we've seen these teams step up and be really good. And again, I'm from a smaller school, so I always, feel like you get completely disrespected and shut out, and you'd like the opportunity to show that you do in fact belong. And I don't think it kills to have one of them in there.
Right.
And look, Tulane's a good football team. North Texas put up a ton of points this year. They're a good football team. And we'll see, which one of them gets there, and which they'll be wearing green.
Yes.
I know that.
Yep.
And we'll see if one of them can, make it a game. Who will they play? The 5th seed?
They play. Well, it depends on if
Oregon.
James Madison gets in. So, if Duke wins, then JMU would likely be the 12 seed, and they'd be the 11. So
I need one of the green teams to play Oregon.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that we would just have nothing but green.
Yeah, the mean green and the green wave facing off in the AAC championship.
Is Summerall coaching?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. They made a deal. I believe he can coach through the college football playoff.
Yeah.
At the very least, I know he's coaching this weekend.
And that's, to me, I'm not pulling a double standard. It's a totally different deal than Kiffin going to LSU,
right.
In my opinion.
Well, and UCLA is hiring James Madison's coach, and they've agreed to let him coach through the playoff, which is like, what does UCLA care if he coaches James Madison?
Because UCLA's horrible.
Right. Ole Miss cares if he coaches LSU.
Yes.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. Couple more segments on this Wednesday. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Got a couple more segments here. Chasing Big Joe coming up at the top of the hour. We're going to talk some college basketball to wrap up the show. But first, let's go back to our phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Edward is called in with some thoughts on Lane Kiffin, who we were just talking about during the break. Edward, what you got for us?
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we got you.
Lane Kiffin is a bad human being. I want to start out with a few years back. Some of your younger callers might not remember this. Al Davis had such a hatred for him that he brought a press conference with PowerPoint and laid out all the accusations that he had about Lane Kiffin. I don't know if y'all recall that.
Oh, yeah. Not the person I thought he was.
Got on a plane at midnight in Knoxville and skipped town with his dad and left the UT fan, which doesn't bother me that much. I left the UT fan high and dry, went out to USC, and got fired. Now, I have not seen this video, but they say that there is a video of him getting on the plane in Mississippi, and the fans are absolutely going crazy.
Yes, I have seen it, and it is not pretty.
Yes. But, guys, this guy he apparently is a A1, top-of-the-notch, great college football coach. It's unfortunate that he can't be a good human being also along the way. Just want to get your thoughts. And guys, don't hold back. Just, let's think about Lane Kiffin in realistic terms. Okay, thanks. I enjoyed your show.
Thanks for the call, Edward. I don't know how we can top Lane Kiffin is a bad human being.
Well, I could top it with this. All right. Look, when you get a sewage plant named after you, all right, they don't do that for just everybody.
No, they don't.
They don't. And we had just talked about in the break, he had done a lot to resurrect his image,
right,
where people actually liked
enjoyed Lane Kiffin. He was funny on Twitter.
His team was good.
Right.
He was, he'd been at Ole Miss for 6 years. And again, the thing I will say is no one would disparage Lane Kiffin if he left to go take an NFL job. And even if he was going to go to Ohio State or Notre Dame, and do it after the playoff, people might be like, all right, we don't love it, but all right, you're not in the, but when you go to your rival, all right, and then you say it wasn't about money.
Yeah, he said he didn't know what the money was.
Yeah, well, that's even worse because that means I would leave here for nothing.
Right.
I do not like this place. I would leave here for nothing. But you go to your rival, and now I hear not only is he getting $90 million, he's getting paid for each one of Ole Miss's playoff victories.
Yep.
Because evidently the $90 million LSU was giving him wasn't enough. Bro, they're not your team anymore. You're the LSU head coach. How the hell does LSU agree to that? Just write him the check then. Just give him the money. But to pay him for another team winning, that is stupid.
Yeah.
Are we going to put wins on his resume if Ole Miss wins these games? It's small, it's greedy, and it should be beneath him. It should, but it's not. It's not. And look, I understand LSU's a great job. I do.
It's one of the best.
But I also understand having some situational awareness. And I just feel like he fumbles it every step of the way. He might think saying, I didn't know what the money was makes it better.
Right.
And it makes it so much worse.
Lane Kiffin is who we thought he was, right? Like he had the reputation, leaving Tennessee in the dark of the night to go to USC. He had the reputation of being a guy who is going to bounce from job to job and does not care about loyalty or anything like that. And you thought maybe he was changing, and he'd been talking for months about, I'm happy here.
Yep.
This is the happiest I've ever been.
Driving up his price.
And then he does exactly what we all expected him to do.
Well, what do we say? Adversity doesn't build character. It reveals it.
Yeah.
And there was some adversity here. And, I had somebody
maybe
say,
self-inflicted.
Well, you knew he was going to go there when his daughter was dating come on. Nobody changes jobs because who their daughter is dating.
Yes.
That's one of the worst takes of all time. And again, I understand it's LSU. I do. And I understand that that's a tough decision. But it takes some stones, man. It just does. Can you imagine leaving Auburn for Alabama?
Right.
Your house would get burned down.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin, and I love Edward mentioned the fans berating him as he got on the jet.
It was bad.
I believe I heard there was a video of a woman with a baby in her arms yelling at Lane Kiffin, and it was captioned, "It just means more."
I didn't see that.
The content from Lane Kiffin this weekend was awesome. I mean, of course, the whole thing with Ben Garrett, the reporter down there. I saw like a TikTok, Instagram reel of this guy because Lane Kiffin, of course, after the game goes, I have to pray on this decision.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Somebody made an Instagram reel of like God talking to college football playoff coach or college football coaches. It's like loyalty. Who cares about loyalty? You are the best and you should do whatever you want.
Look, loyalty to me, schools aren't loyal. Coaches aren't loyal.
No.
It's the whole reason that I'm for the transfer portal.
Yeah, the players should be able to do exactly what the coaches do.
The schools and the coaches have no loyalty. Why should the players? All right? Because look at Penn State. I mean, I may not be a James Franklin fan, but he won a lot of games.
Yeah.
He won a lot of games. And the moment they could fire him, they're like, get out.
Right.
All right? So, I mean, where's the loyalty there? I mean, watch Lane Kiffin go 7-5 at Ole Miss, and then see
where the loyalty is from LSU.
Ask David Cutcliffe about loyalty at Ole Miss. David Cutcliffe won a lot of games at Ole Miss and got shown the door.
Yep.
All right. So loyalty goes both ways. I'm not necessarily going to get caught up in that. All right. What I am going to get caught up in is optics.
Yeah.
Ethics, and just dumping on people. Just dumping them. Have you heard like some of the LSU or Ole Miss players? You know, I guess Lane said, I told the players I wanted to stay through the playoffs, and they overwhelmingly wanted me to stay. And there several players have come out, including the starting center, who said, "Yeah, I don't know anyone who agrees with that sentiment at all." Yeah. So I mean, the players clearly feel burned,
right?
And they should. They should.
Right. I mean, the best season basically ever in Ole Miss history, and he's leaving before they get a chance to go play in the playoff.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been tough.
You can't tell me you're not at a place that can win the national championship. You're in a spot to do it.
Yep. You're likely going to be hosting a playoff game. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Great call from Edward there. We will wrap up the show on the other side. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game.
Oh, wow.
Wrapping up the show on this Wednesday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Corey Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Been a fun one today. Lots of Vandy talk. We didn't get much into the Titans.
We had calls on Vandy.
We did.
I mean, you talk about how the landscape has changed.
Right.
We got calls on Vanderbilt.
The biggest story in town in December is Vanderbilt football.
I always, I wonder, like, if the Titans win this weekend because Vanderbilt got left out of the playoff, and it starts to work to balance the universe a little bit. Because I contend that Vanderbilt being good at football has just destroyed the balance of sports in our city.
Yeah.
And everyone else has had to be terrible as a result of it.
It does seem that way with the way the Titans and Preds have played for the last 2 years. But yeah, Vanderbilt football, it's the biggest story in town, whether it's the playoff rankings, whether it's Diego Pavia, whether it's Jared Curtis.
Yeah.
I
had 3 Vanderbilt stories in my show yesterday.
Yeah.
3.
It's crazy. I mean, again, I said it yesterday. If you go travel back in time exactly 2 years ago today with the team having lost 10 straight games, like, who would have believed that this could even be possible?
Well, again, Clark Lee sitting there saying, we want to compete for championships, and everybody laughed.
Yeah.
Reasonably so.
Right. And here they are. 10-2.
Who wrote the daring to dream big thing? Okay, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you have to dream big.
Right.
You do.
And Clark Lee and this Vanderbilt team they're 10-2, and Diego Pavia very well could be the Heisman winner coming up in 10 days. On the hardwood, it's a big couple of days of college basketball.
Let's go.
This week. The ACC SEC challenge.
The SEC taking it on the chin.
Yeah, surprisingly, which
last night was not a good night.
The SEC typically is going to dominate these. I mean, they have the last couple of years, but yeah, last night was not good. South Carolina loses, Tennessee loses, Kentucky, Florida, Ole Miss. The ACC coming out strong on day one.
Bam!
And there's still 8 games left to go tonight, so we'll see how that works out. Vanderbilt, the men's team hosting SMU. That is an 8:15 tip.
I still can't get used to that being an ACC team.
Right.
It's just
SMU, Cal, and Stanford.
That's got to change.
Crazy.
Think about it. A team from Texas played out in California to determine who would be in the ACC championship. The Atlantic Coast Conference. We have teams from Texas and California squaring off.
Like, none of the conferences are, none of the big conferences are
regional anymore.
No.
The SEC is the closest, but still you're getting further and further west.
Oklahoma and Texas are not in the Southeast.
Right, but it's at the very least, there are no outliers, right? Like the Big Ten's got Rutgers and USC in the same
I guess
conference.
As Greg Sankey likes to point out, they're all geographically connected.
Yes. There is not a 7-hour flight in between any of the SEC schools.
And I got news for you. They're all getting bigger.
Yeah, no.
The Big Ten and SEC are going to get bigger.
None of this is stopping anytime soon. I would guess Clemson and Florida State will be joining one of them shortly.
I still contend we will have a 2014 Big Ten and a 2014 SEC, and they will play for their own championship.
It'll be like the AFC and the NFC.
It's exactly the way it's going to be. It's just a matter of how many teams they want to include in it.
Right.
But so basketball, Mark Byington right now, you talk about clubhouse leader for NCAA Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
He's probably it.
Number 4 in the net rankings right now.
I mean, are they still averaging 100 points a game?
It's close. Close.
They dropped into the 80s with a couple of games. I'll tell you this. I made some money on the over with them this year. Okay. I made some money on the over.
They're going to put up points. They are second in the country in scoring offense at 97.9 points per game.
I was as wrong about him as I have been about any coach just about ever. And not that I thought they were going to be middling.
Well, right. And the idea of coming in and just getting transfers. Like last year, that was a team compiled completely of transfers.
And putting it together and winning.
And they went to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And then this year, they kept 3 guys from last year and
got better.
And added another wave of transfers.
And that's losing Jalen Carey, who, by the way, is playing really well at
Tennessee.
Right now. He had 22 and 9 last night.
But, yeah, Mark Byington, unbelievable what he's done. They are the number 1 ranked team in the SEC in the net when the first rankings came out. So
their production, Tyler Tanner's really good young player.
Yeah, Tanner and Nickel and
Academy
Miles
kid.
And the list goes on and on. So they play SMU 8:15 tonight. That is over at Memorial Gym. You can listen in.
Forgive me, is SMU any good?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sure they're competitive, but that is an 8:15 tip, 7:45 pregame here on 102.5 The Game. The women's team taking on Virginia, 4 o'clock tip. I'll be on the air with you at 3:45 on 94.9 The Fan. So if you want to go over, check out Michaela Blake's Aubrey Galvin. Michaela averaged 31 points per game down in St. Thomas this week.
Now, outside of those two, who has – I know
Justine Passat's been playing great.
She had a double point.
Yep.
She had a double-figure night not a while back.
Yeah.
But I always wonder who are going to be the third and the fourth scorers. I know Sasha Washington's a Bellier who's good inside. Passat's a Tennessee transfer.
Yes, former McDonald's All-American.
And I watch her in practice, and I was really impressed.
Yeah, she has expanded her game. She plays great defense now. She rebounds
really long.
She's passing the ball, and she's still an elite shooter. She's shooting the ball 42% from 3.
Okay, and the girl from Texas, you can have her name.
Jackalenga Mwenentanda.
There you go. She has been everything they wanted her to be, probably in a little bit more.
Yeah, playing great defense and being maybe not your top scoring option, but she can score when she needs to from all 3 levels.
How has the transition of Blake's to the 2?
It's been good. Her and Aubrey play well together in the backfield or the backcourt. Mixing football and basketball.
Yeah, I mean, Galvin's numbers are insane.
Yeah, she's been awesome and going to be fun tonight against Virginia. If you want to come out 4 o'clock at Memorial Gym. Corey, been fun.
All right. It would be more fun if the Bears beat the Packers on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see if we have that to talk about next Wednesday. That'll do it for us. Chase and Big Joe are coming up next here on 102.5 The Game.